Rain falling in your face doesn't compare to the amount of pain, and it stays when you don't want to break all of those things that make you run away. Your love's like a battery charging my heart right now, and oh, you left all the things you had but not just found, and I know you had to go but left me not to know, like a snake's tongue is stung, but I had to show your battery.
My now converted loft, perfect place for recording podcasts. My dog's going nuts in the upstairs bedroom because there's a workman in the house, so I couldn't record it there. Nightmare. But yeah, so big update. So here we are, Lanham United's dressing room. I think it's been used twice.
Good old winter weather.
Yeah. Well, what's your updates then, Roz?
My updates is Sam and I have come back to Lanham earlier than we thought. We came back start of January. He's back playing for the under-15s. Hit the ground running, scoring goals, causing chaos, smashing people off the ball. Yeah, loving it. And I'm back helping with the coaching with the 15s, with a view to what happens now in 16s and into youth football.
I come to you fucking linesman the other week.
Yeah.
I came to watch.
Yeah.
Coaching, giving it a big one, coaching.
Yeah,
He's on the far touchline with a flag.
I think if you ask the manager, I coach on the other side, so I can talk to both fullbacks. There you go. Can you pipe your pick? I do them the night. Yeah, I'm a glorified linesman. But yeah, all good.
Biggest bit of news since the last series has got to be our mate Matthew Stanton.
Yeah.
Now Matthew Stanton's not allowed to talk about this, but we are, so we're fucking gonna.
Yeah, Stance has been banned for a significant amount of time. He has listed it on his socials. He's missed, I think it's 5 months. He's missed a lot of games. He should have been back last Friday, but British weather's taken that out. Yeah. Harshly, very harshly dealt with, in my opinion. But good to see him back. I know it's been a tough time for him, so it is good to see you back, mate. By the time this goes out, yeah, he's had a real tough time over the last few months.
Here's the question I go with it, right? I won't get involved in the rights and the wrongs, right? Because I'll probably be wrong. How can a suspension for a tweet carry a larger suspension than somebody that drags a supporter onto a pitch and kicks him in the head? True comparison. I haven't made that up. That has happened. And I could give other examples of things. That's the thing for me. And do you know what? Maybe what's happened to Stance isn't even the thing that's wrong. Maybe the other punishment is what's wrong. I don't get that stuff. That's the thing that just never sits right with me. Is that, okay, if he's got to have 10 matches for that, you know, it's been a difficult time for him. Hopefully, I doubt it, but hopefully Stance will learn from that. But how do you get 10 games for that? And like I say, if you get a white paper for attacking a supporter, you'll get an extra 3 games.
Yeah, it's just not.
Not that you'd know about attacking supporters.
I just try and talk my way out of trouble. Yeah.
It's not like you, mate.
No, fighting's a very last resort, isn't it? To be fair.
Yeah.
But no, it's. I think it's a scary thing as a player now. You use social media access and stuff like that. You've got to be very, very careful what you say on there. And obviously, I didn't know what Stance has done or what he said. Obviously, I just noticed on the app because the app's great for stuff like this. But obviously, noticed he hadn't played for a while. Hadn't particularly checked his socials or anything like that. So just assumed he was injured. So yeah, it's good. It's good to see that he's now back playing in a mindset absolutely. Where he's looking forward to playing, because I know it's been a challenging time.
Yeah. I thought he'd finish. I did as well. So
anyway, see you back, and you've got news.
Yeah, well, firstly, just before Christmas, as everyone knows, I coached at Pencoed for just over 18 months or whatever, and genuinely, that is probably the best group of lads I've ever worked with. It's like, you just love to sit in the pub with them and chat. Honestly, every one of them, top lads, even Delvey. And like, the biggest problem they got is that they'll have a squad there one day, 16, and they could beat anyone in our league. And then the following week, we're scratching round because there's 7 of them not available and none of them are injured. Yeah. And I know we'll probably get onto that, but like, then a few bits happened in work for me, and I looked at my schedule and I thought, shit, I'm not going to be able to take training for I was probably going to be able to do 4 training sessions in 3 months. And I thought, hang on, I can't be standing there preaching, lads, you're letting yourselves down.
If you can't commit.
If I'm then not able to commit to it as well. So so I've been back down here helping where I can with the coaching and stuff like that. But again, you know, I'm away a lot, so midweek is not always doable for me. So I'm just trying to help now at Landrum. It's all hands to the pump here at the moment. I know you probably don't follow this league, but my God, it wasn't looking good before Christmas. But we've been doing all right since. The games I've been at and seen and that. Yeah, doing better. Yeah. But obviously my mileage is down. But genuinely, like, I didn't even get a chance to really say goodbye to the lads at Pencoed. So I hope to get to a game at some point. Because it all just happened that the schedule landed in my lap and couldn't really. I just sat there and thought I will sound full of shit. You know, because honestly, right. You know, now I'm not there anymore. Hopefully people don't even think I'm biased. That group of players should be finishing in the top 3 or 4 in that league comfortably and lifting a trophy, because they got 4 cups to go for. 3 of them they could win. They have got the squad and the manager and the togetherness and everything they need. But, you know, it's what we spoke about in the last series, like the dreadful levels of commitment that they have. Do you know what I mean? And you know, there's like you'll hear one day, oh, do you know so and so's going on holiday in 3 weeks, and you'll think, well, he won't be going on his own. The other 3 will be going with him. You know, and it's stuff like that. Yeah. So obviously any help I can give to Plummer and the guys down here between now and the end of the season when I'm around, I will. And hopefully we can stay up, please God. And then we get to play in this lovely ground, and you've just seen the pitch outside now. Yeah, really impressed. We can finally get on it properly week in, week out. So, that's. Any more updates? What else has happened? Christmas. We had Christmas.
Still haven't had my car back.
Still have it back?
No, I got nicked on something. Start November. Apparently, it should be this week. So the first week of March. So by the time this goes out, I might have had it back, but I doubt it.
Found in Pontypool, isn't it?
Should we have it nicked again? Yeah. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
No, a couple of boys were.
It wasn't new in, still haven't had it back. So I still got my shitty Seat Ibiza, but should have that back. And since it's been nicked, do you know there's back orders for those now? I'm on a waiting list for the Cymru Range Rover. I was going to say, I'm seeing loads there driving around.
Yeah, you do. They are quite popular, aren't they?
Yeah, they are now.
The one thing I will say on cars, though, is the Morgans clearly haven't got a great taste in cars, have they?
Why is that?
You know full well.
I don't know what you're on about.
That yellow.
Holding yellow. I'm a real American.
Right. And then when that broke down, he turned up in a G-Reg Skoda, if I remember rightly.
Right, hang on a minute. I don't know. I remember the Bumblebee.
No, I remember the day you're on about. I'll get to that. Let me just clarify on the yellow Fiat Coupe that I had, right?
It was the fastest car you had.
That is the fastest thing I have ever. Not only have I ever had, that is the fastest car I've ever been in. It was absolutely unbelievable, this thing, right? And that's what it was. My mate owned it. I took it for a test drive. He put his foot down. My head went flying back, and I went, "Yes, I want that." Right?
I remember. So the first time I saw it, straight away, Hogan yellow.
You can fuck off. I was going through a midlife crisis at 30, 31, whatever it was. But I listened to this day. I missed that car. It was amazing. But the car was in the garage, and I borrowed my brother-in-law Matthew's car. And it was like Matt listens to this podcast, right?
Apologies, Matt.
Well, he continues to buy cars for like £100, 150. Just keep it. So it was that day I borrowed his car. It was the only way. It was Abergavenny, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
Because I pulled up next to the bus, and he was sat in the bus, and he double sat. He looked at it, and I thought, here we go. Brownie's not going to let this go now.
How could I?
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, we finally got you on, mate.
Yes.
You obviously there's lots to talk about.
Yeah.
But what are you doing at the moment? We'll do that Netflix thing of this is now.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump back to the start. So what are you doing at the moment?
So at the moment, still at Crossy.
Yeah.
I've got my boys under 15s team, which are playing in the under 16s league.
Okay.
At the moment, we're playing up a year. I coach that with Gazzy Pat. Obviously, you know Gaz very well.
Absolutely.
So me and Gaz are running that for my boys team and his boys team, and obviously same age as Sam and Rod.
We're gonna have a little pre-season game booked in this year.
Yeah. Well, we tried last year, but we didn't quite get there.
It's going to have about 3 players.
Are you and Gazzy Pat's boys like you were?
No.
I was going to say.
Well, actually, no. Kian, Gaz's lad, he does love a tackle. I'll give him his dues.
No, I put him on Sam. It'd just be like that.
No, he's. But my lads. I'll talk about my brother afterwards. But my lad is quite similar to my brother.
Yeah. Okay.
In terms of like, technical ability wise. He plays further up the field than I did. So.
No, fair enough.
And then I've got, so obviously I stepped down from the first team manager's job at the start of the summer. And my daughter was playing for Crossy Women's.
Yeah.
And their coach stepped down about 2 weeks after I did.
Yeah.
So of course my daughter was being my
You've got nothing to do, Dad.
Yeah, you've got nothing to do. You can come and coach us. You've coached Eli's team for the last 6 years. Now you can come and coach my team. So I wasn't going to argue with her because she's nearly a black belt in taekwondo. She kicked me at the gym for about 4 years. I felt the wrath plenty of times. I took her to training every week and obviously watched them play every Sunday.
Yeah.
I was there every week anyway, so an extra hour or two training them was no biggie really. And to be fair, their coach Johnny broke his leg playing for Cymru towards the end of the last season. So I helped out the last 3 or 4 games of the season anyway with them, so kind of knew the group of girls anyway. So that's where I am currently.
What's your goalkeeper like?
My daughter.
Is she better than these ones I'm watching on Instagram?
Yeah, she is.
I made the mistake right on Instagram. For a while, if I saw one of those comical goals that happen in women's football across the world, right? And the algorithms obviously that he loves these.
Yeah.
So they all get ping.
Yeah. So your algorithm is basically women goalkeepers throwing howlers. And Welsh League referees.
Women goalkeepers throwing howlers. No, I blocked all those fuckers. No, not having them. There was one on Saturday again. Not having them.
So the reason you've done a lot of that, Mike, with the referees on social media, there's one referees group specifically on Twitter, X, that just defend everything every week.
Oh yeah.
Someone sends it in and it could be an absolute howler, right?
Yeah.
A defender, but the striker's running in, defender's headed it back, striker's running and scored, goal, offside, ref, the defender's headed it back. Yeah. Look at the camera and no, and then some guy will go on saying, oh well, he can't have eyes everywhere, thinking, no, just defend everything.
Yeah.
That's probably why you block them all, is it? Because it just piss you off.
On Instagram, there are a couple of accounts on Instagram where it's like referees explaining decisions, stuff like that. So they're quite interesting because it gives you the perspective of not always saying that like the referees got that right. It's impossible. No player or coach or anyone gets everything right, do they? So referees are going to be the same. But I think it's a brilliant account. This one, I think he's French or something, this guy. But anyway, he kind of explains why that mistake might have happened. So when you're at the point of like, right, we all acknowledge that ain't right.
Yeah.
I would hope that some people at least listen now to why. So if you look at where the guy is, you can see there's a defender between him and where the incident actually happens, and just an insight like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just make you think a little bit more,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But that would come up on its algorithm. You can block them all.
Yeah. I won't have the ones that are just defending. Like I can't watch that ref watch on Sky Sports on a Monday, where it's just Dermot Gallagher saying everything was right.
Yeah, it's I think for me, I get why Dermot Gallagher's on there, but his whole demeanour and his mannerisms, and he still plays that sort of
the party line.
Yeah, doesn't he? And I think that's the bit that I can't.
want to be offending his old colleagues type.
Yeah, and I kind of I can't.
So anyway, am I going to be seeing clips of your daughter in goals on Instagram, or
hopefully
is
not.
she the cat?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. She's doing okay. She played when did she play? Started playing the Raven under 16s. She was playing out. Then they lost their goalkeeper. And at the time, she was playing netball. So I said, "Well, look, you're tall. You've got good hand-eye coordination. Playing goal. Your team needs a goalkeeper playing goal." And to be fair, since then she's just been in there. And we're really lucky at the moment. We've got 2 keepers at the club.
Yeah.
We try and share the game time out between them. And obviously a lot of clubs in a lot of teams in the women's game haven't got a keeper. So
really?
We're really lucky in the respect that we've got 2 keepers, and we have got a third player who can or who has stepped up to playing goal. Oh yes, absolutely. Because ironically, the weekend my daughter hurt her foot in the house. I'm not going to embarrass her by saying what I did, but she hurt her foot. Literally on the Saturday night, come Sunday morning, I obviously text the other goalkeeper's dad to say, can she come or can she play tomorrow? As it happened, they were away for the weekend night, which I kind of knew they were away, I think. So luckily I had that third player to...
That's rare, mate.
Absolutely.
In any level of football, that's rare,
absolutely. So lucky.
Fair play.
Yeah.
That's good, though. For the so we obviously met you across Caerleon when... trying to work out when I was. Must have been 2007, 8, I think. 2008.
Yes, I think when did I join? I think I joined Crossy halfway through 2006-7 season.
So was that the season when they got relegated from the first division of the old Welsh League, or was it the year before that?
I think it was the year before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you been before that?
Well, how far do you want to go back? So obviously I started youth.
Yeah, well, youth and adults, really.
So basically I started...
It's just a hotbed, that area.
Yeah.
I think it's like Port Talbot. There just seems to be so much football around Cymru.
I think, so the Torvine Junior Football League has always historically been a really strong sort of numbers-wise league.
Yeah.
And I played for Crossy through my juniors.
Yeah.
So basically 4. I started playing with my brother, who was a year older than me.
Yeah.
Played at Crossy Juniors pretty much all the way up until I was under 15s, I think it was. My team then folded. The group of lads I grew up playing with had all disbanded. A couple went to different sides and stuff. So I then went and played Caerleon because they were the other local side to me, or closer to me, and they were a good side, really good side. So I played Saturdays with Caerleon, and back then it was obviously you could play for 2 clubs.
Oh, Jesus! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I played Managerial League for Cymru.
Back in the days.
Back in the days, yeah.
Back
so
in the days.
16, I was playing Managerial for Cymru.
And we've spoken about that a few times on the first series, the old Managerial League. You played in it, didn't you?
It was a really good league, and obviously the benefit of it was you could have sort of 2 or 3 players who were over a certain age. Wasn't that? I can't remember what the age was now, but
just over-age players.
Yeah, so we had a lad called Kevin Wallace playing for us, and what a player. Really, really top-end midfielder.
Some of the clubs, because most of the Welsh Premier League teams at the time from the south were in it, weren't they?
Yeah.
So you could rock up on a Sunday theoretically if he'd needed game time. You could have rocked up on a Sunday for a youth team game, and Chris Summers is playing up front for Cymru Town. Yeah. He's like one of the highest scorers in Welsh Prem history.
Yeah.
he might have been playing if he needed a run out after injury or something.
So, which was a scary thing. Well, I was 16, turning 17 at that point. So, there was a few times we played teams with senior players. So
they actually scrapped that for the last 3 or 4 seasons of the league. It would have been after you'd gone out, I imagine.
Yes, it was.
But they actually scrapped it in the end. Not sure whether I think that was a good or a bad thing, really, because but I think fairness probably prevailed, because imagine you're going for the Managerial League with someone else, and you rock up to someone that everyone else thrashes, and they've brought 2 Welsh League players in up front or at the back. It does change.
Of course, change. And then obviously, then the other thing as well, then it could obviously have the impact of somebody's title being taken away from them if they lose that game. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of...
Because you only used to play everyone once. Shit. Because I managed Taft's well in that level of football, and I remember the one season it was just like, well, just write that season off, just get a young team, give them loads of experience of playing in that season. And then when you play all the better teams at home the following season, you've got a chance, and they'll have a year of experience, basically.
It did completely depend on the luck of the draw or the 3 fixtures. I think when I played, I think we played away more than we played at home.
We certainly
it wasn't like a level, they 8 and 8. It was just it was weird.
It was a strange set. It was a very good standard though for youth.
It was.
I watch youth football now, and this is not to denigrate anyone that's a good youth player, but what it did, all the best youth players would find a team in that area to play. Whereas now, like in this postcode CF3, there's probably 10 youth teams. If Llanrymney had 1 team in the Magwerta, all the best youth players would have been in the Magwerta team.
Absolutely.
From that postcode, you know what I mean?
And that was what Cymru was like. We had, it was essentially a Torfaen representative team, essentially. The team that I played in, plus obviously Kev played, and 1 or 2 other older heads from.
Who was the coach at the time?
That would be Phil Gates and a little fella called Alan Gadd.
Okay.
You won't know those guys, but they're local to Cymru. The one thing that really sticks out of that sort of team, we were 16, sort of 17. We went down to Pontardawe, I think it was, away. I scored a free kick in the last minute, made it draw a 2-2. And
I want to meet the gaffer to put you on free kicks.
Well, we'll talk about that. I didn't always play as a centre half, believe it or not. I went through school playing basically as a centre fielder or a 10.
Okay.
That was where I sort of played most of my junior and youth football. So I was playing in centre field for Cymru. I can't actually remember how the free kick was given to me, but I put it down last minute, stuck it in the top corner.
Fair play.
And it was probably one of the best goals I think I've ever scored, to be fair. I could never ever do it again, even if I had 1,000 shots. Do you know what I mean? But I can remember we got the bus home, and Alan and Phil. There was a big, I think it was a Lidl's supermarket that had just been built, so we literally piled into they piled into Lidl's, bought all the beer. The journey home was very, very merry.
Decent journey from Pontardawe to Cymru.
We rocked up back to the Old Cymru Town Sports and Social Club in Old Cymru. Obviously Phil and Al had a few too many on the bus back, and had a bit of a telling off.
Imagine nowadays.
Well, exactly. So obviously this was obviously a long time ago, but we had a brilliant time. Phil and Al were brilliant with us. And Phil went on to manage up at Abergavenny Thursdays for a little bit, which is where me and 2 or 3 other lads went and had our first sort of experience of men's football that season. So my first.
What a place to go and play your first.
The
world's biggest pitch.
and have a guess where he put me?
Left back?
No, right back. Right wing back. And I think
honestly,
I
that is the biggest football pitch I've ever seen.
Luckily back then, I was like a racing snake, so I could cover the ground. I think that's probably why he put me there, to be fair. But I can remember one of my first games up there. We played. It was the old Welsh League Div 3, and we played Caerleon. And I can remember somebody played a ball out to me. I took it past their left back and put a cross in the box, and he turned around and said to me, "You fucking do that again, I'm going to break your legs." And I thought, oh shit, welcome to football. It was welcome to men's football, I was thinking. And I looked at this guy and I thought, he's going to do me.
He's serious.
He's serious, he's going to do me. So I think I touched the ball about 2 or 3 times after that. I didn't want it behind him. Just played it safe, back to my centre half. But we had a. It was mad actually, because I went back to obviously Aber 2 seasons ago when we went with Crossy, and some of the guys who were still on the committee or still support the club were there. Yeah, so it was nice. It wasn't, and I think
it was like that ground, real old school.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously the surface up there is still a really good place.
You'll like this. My first encounter of Abergavenny Thursdays ground was Cymru Town Youth against Taswell Youth. So I don't know what was going on. It was around. Remember when the stand at Cymru Town was getting condemned?
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, we ended up playing them up there. And the management team for Cymru Town was Della Chidi, obviously love Della.
Yeah.
And Frank Fahy.
Yeah.
Frank. Yeah. First time I ever met Frank. Obviously I got to know him really well then.
Yeah.
But halfway through the game, bearing in mind, when this conversation goes on, I'm about 26, right? So something goes on during the game. Anyway, the short version is Frank Fahy says to me, "See me in the car park afterwards." Right?
Yeah.
So me being young, dumb, 26-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm still waiting for the fucker to turn up. I'm 47 now. I reminded him of it years later. We were talking before the game at Grange Quinns. The boys were warming up, and he was talking to me, and I just reminded him of the story. He obviously didn't remember it.
I'll remind him.
Yeah.
I'll remind him.
Absolutely.
Frank's become. Yeah, I see a lot of Frank. He's obviously so Ryan's son is now across. He's under 16, under 6s. Obviously Frank helps out, and Frank's had a team who were 2 years below me with his other grandson. So Frank's been obviously I've known Frank for years and years. Obviously I played youth football with Ryan, so I've known Ryan since sort of like 6-7 years old. He was a year below me in school, but obviously I've known Frank and Ryan for a long time. And to be fair, one of the few people that I've sort of lent on for support was Frank over the sort of like 2.5, 3 years I did the Crossy job. He was always a really good sounding board for me.
That's one of those. See, that stuff like that gets said in every dugout every Saturday. Yeah. But me being 26 and full of myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, poor stood in the car park like a dickhead while Frank's in the bar and the pints. Who's the loser? It's not Frank, is it? Frank's halfway down his second pint and it's all like coming from the rain. Brilliant. So how long did you stay there? At Thursdays.
It was that season.
Just one season.
It was like halfway through. It was like halfway through. So just after Christmas, I think we went there and sort of finished the season off. They got relegated then to Wayne County.
Yeah, they had a big drop, didn't they?
Yeah. So that was almost like the sort of start of the decline, really.
Yeah.
It was a tough all season that was.
But
obviously as a 16, 17-year-old,
the best thing that did for you, though, looking back, must have been you got games.
Oh, absolutely.
At a level. Because that's the bit that's just missing nowadays.
Yeah, and I think for me as well, obviously coming, because at the time, I think I'd just come out of academy football as well. So I'd had a year at Cardiff when I was 14, and then 2 years in Newport County, as well as my grassroots stuff as well, which is obviously another thing that doesn't get spoken about enough, how much football we played as youngsters. And all these regulations, but your kid can't play more than an hour of football a weekend or for a period. And you know, I look back now and think,
Honestly,
flipping
mate. just let these children be children.
yeah.
Man.
But I think I from ever since, you know, when I'm, again, with my brother being that sort of year older than me, I was out kicking a ball probably 6-7 hours a day in the summer with just purely with my brother, my mates, his mates. You know, we lived quite close to a little sort of grass area, and we'd be out all hours of the day. Do you know what I mean? We'd never.
Yeah, that whole street football doesn't happen anymore.
No,
unless certain areas do. But a lot of the time, the old thing of like we got here, we used to have here, the end of the road, just go out and play at the end of the street.
Yeah.
And else, it just doesn't happen anymore.
No.
It's got all housing and schools, housing and proper sports pitch here where we are now. But where our first team pitch is, we used to be over there when it was a school field for hours and hours and hours every night.
We were saying, me and the group of lads I grew up with, we're all still mates now. You know, we've got a WhatsApp group which is full of abuse, as it was. It was like we were still in the classroom now. But we used to spend all summer, as soon as the school broke up, we'd be pretty much down the school pitches playing football, again from 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night when it was time
Absolutely.
to go. I mean, and that's it was nice last summer because my son did the same. He was out every day with his mates, and not only was he out with his mates playing football, but I think for me the biggest thing, obviously as a coach, I noticed a massive difference when it came to pre-season that he'd been out playing football every day for 3-4 hours every day. Yes, of course he'd gone out and walked to town and and walked around the shops and with his mates. But the fact that he was playing 3-4 hours of football every day, and his touch had gone massi's through the roof. I mean, whereas before he'd sort of struggled to control the ball and bounce off his shins, or his touch was very good. He's got this little signature move that he does, a little drag back and a flick back out with his foot. And I was thinking, he's nailed that. Absolutely nailed it. But it's because he's been playing, the old games that we knock out, or head flicks and volleys. Do you know what I mean? He's been doing that for 4 or 5 hours a day. Whereas if he hadn't been out with his mates, he'd been sat on his Xbox shouting at them like they do nowadays.
I know.
He would never have got to the level that he is currently at.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I mean, and, that's one thing that I really like about the fact, and I say to him now, just go and play football. Just go on, just get out.
It's one of the things we're finding out in our league now is that we've got, when we start March, we've played 13 of our 16 games. There's a team in our league that played 4 since September. Now I know full well that team have got a couple of injuries and this Cardiff schools, rugby and all that stuff coming on. But you know full well those boys, they haven't been training, they don't play, they can't field the team on a Saturday, they won't fulfil their fixtures this season. And it's mad, and just because they just find one of the teams involved here, one of the most successful teams I've ever seen, have disbanded because boys going fishing on a Friday night, just no commitment to doing it, and that was one of the best teams in the area.
I think that's one of the big things for me as well at the moment with like that age group, and sort of obviously the kids of today really essentially is that when I was a kid growing up, obviously we didn't have access to all the sports channels and everything like that now, but I used to watch Match of the Day religiously with my brother. Do you know what I mean? We used to watch the old Soccer, what was the old Soccer Italia on Channel 4? Gazzetta. We used to watch that religiously. We used to watch the World Cup games. And my brother was one of those really annoying kids who would watch me once and be able to do it straight away. He was one of those, which obviously for me was really frustrating because it took me 50, 60 times to do something before I got it. My brother was like, bang, done.
Wow. That is infuriating. Our dad's like that. He's one of these more infuriating people that just doesn't have to practice anything. So he's a bit older now, obviously, but he's still a very good golfer, right? But back in the day, he could just rock up onto the first. I don't think he ever practiced golf. To my memory, never. Playing off like 3, 4, 5 his whole life without practicing, right? Just rock up on the first tee, no practice swing, just go like that, go. Come on in! Bang! And shoot.
Straight down the middle.
Level par. Where I get from. You fuck. Level par, right? And he's like you with pool. You won't play pool for a year. And you go on holiday, pool, innit? Right? Oh, come on in, 7 balls you win. Like you have 2 goes and all the balls are gone. Those infuriating people. By the way, since he's brought his golf up, right? You want to see, Happy Gilmore? Well, imagine the complete opposite of that.
he's got this conservative half swing that he just like helps the ball along.
Just tap it in.
Straight down the middle, straight down the middle, a little 3-iron. People say have a go with no.
3-iron.
Hey, my 3-iron ping,
Safety
3-iron ping, there we go, right, line it up, bang, off we go, right, come on, down the middle. Anyone can hit a 3-iron when you're not even half swinging it. It's like a putt. You want it really high, I'm just straight down.
Yeah. Speaking of golf, Ghazi Pat just come back from Turkey, been in a pro-am.
Yeah?
And he won it. He won the individual tournament.
Go on, Gaz.
Yeah. He was very, very chuffed.
Did he come back with new teeth or?
No.
Hair?
I was going to say he could have done the hair, but I think he blew his budget on the trip itself.
Fair play.
But yeah, he was very chuffed. He has a nice big trophy, and then I think that because they was the golf pro that he went out with and 3 of his mates, they won the whole tournament thing as well.
Fair
so
play.
he come back with 2 whopping big trophies.
I've never actually played in Turkey. Obviously, I work in golf. I've never played in Turkey. Yeah. But everyone that goes there just says they're like.
I think that was Gaz's second time.
Was it?
So yeah.
Too hot for me. I can't play golf.
I was going to say I don't think Gaz took his hat off. To be fair.
A hat?
No Pat's there.
Only time he's ever laughed at me on a golf course, Florida, right? Funny spot. So we've teed off at 7 o'clock in the morning, the sun is rising. Yeah. It's in the middle of the summer in Florida, right?
Now, what did you forget? Hang on. I was the only one fucking clever enough to fucking remember.
Sun cream.
No.
Oh.
Glove. Right? Sweating. He's running down his arm. He's teeing off at one point. Right? The club moved in his hand as he teed off. He hit the ball straight in the pond. Got to the 9th green. What did he do in the shot? Golf glove.
Yeah, but that story gets better. First 4 holes, playing off 12 at the time, first 4 holes, I'm level par.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, look at me, I'm a golfer, like this, right? So as the sun's rising, it's getting really hot really quick. And the steering wheel is black rubber.
Yeah.
And I'm driving it. And he's fucking passenger as always, isn't it?
Yeah. He's just the princess, yeah.
So of course, by the time I let go of the wheel for every shot, right, my hands are sweating, right, and he's laughing, I got a glove. So anyway, it's ridiculous, right? The club's just, I can't hold it, I can't hit it. It gets to the point, he's just laughing after every shot. Because not only am I not hitting it there, it's going there.
You know, you're sitting there about taking the piss, right, with my little fanny swing, right? It goes like that. I'm just going there. He can't just do that. He's still trying to go for and then the club's going everywhere.
So he's right, we got halfway round and I run into the pro shop.
Fuck this, I'm buying a glove.
And I buy a glove. Right, anyway, I come out and I'm all smug now. I'm right, you fucking have you now. But the 10th tee is quite a distance away by buggy, because he was like half one style and half the course another style. So we went across this like boardwalk, got down there and I went, right, opened the packet up, fucking ladies' glove, couldn't get it on. It was like O.J. Simpson in a trial. Couldn't get the fucking glove on. I just paid them $20 for this like leather glove. Just threw it in the lake.
Quickly followed by his fucking t-shirt. I was just there doing the man.
I don't think I got as good as a double bogey for the rest of the round.
It's terrible shit. As he stood on the tee, mate, it's one of them going, don't drop it. And as he's swinging back, jackass, and fucking bump, the ball goes over the...
And the thing is, right,
I actually beat him. I was like, first way one.
With golf, my dad's got no sense of humour for it either. Right. So he's laughing, right? But I know my dad's raging. Yeah. I'm hitting all these balls all over the place.
So they got the bunker, can't get out. Do you want a little sandcastle in there, princess?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you left Abergavenny.
That's the football, yeah. Left Abergavenny. Where did I go then? So obviously I was still playing.
Still playing youth as well.
Youth as well, yeah. So I then went down to Caerleon.
Yeah.
2001.
Okay.
So I played Caerleon.
That was a real strong club for a long time, wasn't it?
The season before I joined, I think they were 3rd or 4th in Div 1, and obviously Div 1 back then was was a really good standard. So I played Caerleon with Andy Beattie was the manager there. Okay. Obviously ex-Merthyr.
So who was in the team around then that I would have known? Are we talking the time where people like Trotty was there? Or?
Yeah, Trotty, Mark Ward, Todd Courtley, you might know Troy. You probably know Troy rather than Todd.
So that would have been around the time I was with Dennis Powys and with...
Might have been, slightly before, possibly. Yeah.
I don't know, I mixed the years up.
Yeah.
But I certainly faced a lot of them for Caerleon.
Yeah.
So it must have been around that time.
Yeah, they were a really good side. Obviously, Beats was our manager. Those of you who know Andy Beattie, what a bloke.
Yeah.
What an absolute bloke. You know, obviously, he was still playing at the time as well,
Yeah.
Beats. So he must have been sort of probably early 40s,
Yeah.
44, 45, sort of around that age group. So, so Beats was playing himself as a sweeper with Mark Ward one side and Todd the other side.
Yeah.
And then I took a guy called Mark Tucker. I took his place essentially because Tux was pushing sort of late 30s. But he'd scored something stupid like 30, 35 goals the season before.
Right.
So my job was to try and fill his boots.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Yeah, exactly. As a sort of 17-year-old kid going in. But yeah, we had a really good side down there. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed my time down at Caerleon. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Obviously with Div 1 for a long time.
You didn't have to change any away dressing rooms, did you?
No.
It's about the size of the fucking shower in there.
That's the shower picture.
Yeah, I say that those, but yeah, I love my time down at Caerleon. You know, the amount of times that we'd sort of obviously play the game at Caerleon, drink in the clubhouse.
Yeah, it's a real good setup.
Yeah, but it's
Caerleon's legend place as well.
Yeah,
That's where my stag do was in Caerleon, just pub.
But obviously, you know, the distance from the clubhouse to the
That's right.
the little sort of square essentially.
Yeah.
And you had that lovely little pub crawl as well.
Yeah.
Starting the Drovers, go around and literally just do a loop and finishing the
Yeah.
Chinese in the end. and then get a taxi.
You do well. But I don't know what it was like when you were playing, but when it was my stag do, there was about 13 pubs in Caerleon.
Yeah, there was.
So if you had the football club, that's 14. You're doing well.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was a very good night.
We had a good swig up, eh?
But yeah, it was. So Caerleon was my club for a good 5-6 years. And
So what prompts leaving there? Because it was a people now, like people coming up now, wouldn't necessarily realise it. They can obviously see that it's a decent setup there, and it's not like it's just vanished.
No,
but it was a real strong club without throwing bundles and bundles of cash out on an annual basis.
I was 17 at the time, so we had at the time it was a win bonus. It was like 15 quid a win, 10 quid for a draw.
At that time, there wasn't a lot of money in Gwent.
No,
I always found that when I was with Crossy and Celtic.
I don't think there was an awful lot of money in the league around that time as such. So, but obviously I was 17. 15 quid back then.
All the money tended to be west of Cardiff. So from Bridgend on. Yeah. So Bridgend, Port Talbot, Neath, these types of areas, Swansea. Yeah. That's where the money seemed to be at the time. I know it's obviously not necessarily the case now.
Yeah, but ironically, my departure from Caerleon came ironically against Crossy.
Did it?
So the manager at the time, Brendan, knew that knew that it was my club. Obviously, we talked about in training, and he benched me for the cup game. Really? Which obviously for me it was really, really frustrating for me because obviously Crossy was my club. Yeah. Obviously my brother was playing for Crossy as well. Yeah. Obviously Evo was in charge, Evo and Gilly were in charge at the time. Yeah. Evo was on to me in the summer to come back, obviously because they were looking to get promoted to Welsh League and stuff. Yeah. They had a really good side as well at that time, Crossy. We got drawn in the cup. Obviously, it was a big sort of, I'm not going to say it wasn't all about me, of course it wasn't, but for me, it was, I'm going back to my home club with my current club, which I genuinely loved Caerleon. Yeah. Really, really loved my time there. And going back to Crossy and then being benched was really hard to take for me. And I think that was the bit where I thought, obviously, then afterwards in the club.
What was the reason?
It was purely tactical, is what he said. Make it
is tough.
But it is.
I have experienced it once myself. That's why I said what was the reason. And the guy said to the manager said, "Oh, it was a cup game, and it was against a fellow top of the league team. We wanted to keep a few secrets for when we play them in the league. I said, well, I play Sunday League with half of them.
Yeah.
So I'm no secret to them.
I think the worst thing for me is when I didn't get on.
Oh no, that's horrible.
And that was
It can feel personal in those scenarios, even if it probably wasn't. Like, but it can feel it, can't it?
Yeah, I did. And that was the thing. I think that was the worst bit for me. I didn't get on, and I can remember. You know what it's like at Crossy. You know, obviously the pitches. Well, obviously the stand wasn't there at that time, but you know, having to walk past the home dugout with all the old boys behind there. Obviously, they all know me. They all know my brother.
Yeah.
And then, to be fair, Evo collared me in the bar afterwards and said, "Why don't you just come sign for us?"
Yeah.
So that was it. I joined.
Surprised your manager couldn't see that come in. If I do this to him, he might go back there. Because that is that's a thought process you go through sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're like, if I drop him, he'll probably leave. Yeah. So am I happy for him to leave?
Yeah.
And if the answer is then knock yourself out.
Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I wasn't happy at that time with Brendan. You know, I've got a lot of respect for Brendan. He was a brilliant player as well at Caerleon. And I've spoken to him since when I left. And obviously I spoke to him over the years when I see him, always had a good chat with him. You know, I don't like to fall out with people over football. You know, that's one of the big things that I try and remain sort of on good terms with a lot of the people that I meet through football.
You say that as well with the dugout and with our stand being so close to where it is. I think if anyone's not been to Croesyceiliog Football Club and not experienced that, which one of our players was it when someone was having a go from the stand back? Was it Mozza? Actually turned round and said to him, "You're supposed to be supporting us, not because you can hear."
Yeah, you can hear everything. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it was Mark Morris.
Yeah,
Moz turned to the crowd one day and shouted, "Whose side are you on?" I remember. I'm sure we'll come to that line, So you've ended up back across, and obviously in that team at that time, they were a team on a bit of a crest of a wave, weren't they at the time?
So Pat. Jamie Jenks, Jodie Jenks.
They'd swept through the leagues, hadn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
First division now.
Yeah, Div 1, yeah.
And that was your first season?
Yeah.
So comfortable finish that season?
Yeah, comfortable finish that season. I think 7th or 8th, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a really good season for the team. And then the year after we got relegated.
What happened that season? Because obviously I came in and inherited the burning embers of of what had happened there. Because we had so much to sort out when we started. Do you know what? What we probably should have done at the time was try and understand what had gone wrong the season before, because it might have helped us out in those first few months. But why did they go from cup semi-finalists, 7th in the league, beating some of the top teams in the league, to relegated the following year? Because it was the same gaffer.
Yeah.
What happened?
I'll be honest, I don't know. Obviously, I was a player. I just turned up every week and tried to put something. I think we probably were a little bit naive. I can remember the last game of the season was away at Bridgend, we played actually on Pontypridd, rather than down at Coedwig. And we just didn't have any fight in us. I think it's probably the most accurate description I can give. I think we lost. I think it was 4 or 5-1. I think we lost.
Yeah, it was comfortable. Yeah, I can't remember the score. But
it might have even been 6-1. And we just, I don't know. It was really difficult. 'Cause we were in a bit of a rut anyway towards the end of the season. I think that last game, I can remember it was obviously the end of the season, and it was pissing down at Pontypridd, and I can remember being sat after the game in the change rooms, and it was dead silent in the change rooms, and it was a weird feeling because the fight of the team that I joined wasn't there. You know, and like the boys who were, who got the team to Div 1, a few of them had gone. But I still think we had enough quality to at least put up a fight and stay in the league.
I tell you what I think's hard for teams like that. not just Croesyceiliog, because I mean you were filled with, you know, for semi-pro football, you were filled with quality players, right? Who've done very good things in their careers, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think what's hard, right, when you think of where they came from, they're on a crest of a wave and they go promotion, then they come up and they have that first season in the first division, and it's all about, right, let's show them what we're about. You turn in heads and you finish 6th or 7th in the league, which is a great finish. But when you've gone promotion, trophy, promotion, and then all you can ever achieve at that level of football, if you're being honest, is 7th or 8th. It's very different. It's like setting yourself a goal and an end date for losing weight. I'm going to lose 5 stone. I could do with it. I'm going to lose 5 stone in 9 months.
Yeah.
And you do it. But you know what? When the 9 months, like, life doesn't end there, does it?
No.
Is the day after and the day after and the day after and the day after. And I think that's not just Croesyceiliog. That's a whole load of teams you'll see sweep through the leagues, reach a certain point, and then it can very quickly go back the other way. Because there's no glory to be had anymore. Because glory now is finishing 7th.
Yeah.
And I think that's really hard for anyone.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the big things, while we had, you know, people who played for Cymru and the Welsh Premier, you know, we had Pat,
famously, Jamie Jenkins would always tell us he's Mark Deco, which you can't argue with him because it's true.
But you know, we had the likes of, like, you know, Pat O'Hagan was obviously in goal for Crossy for a long time. Pat missed a big part of that season, like, from memory.
Yes.
And obviously, you know, a goalkeeper of Pat's calibre
makes a hell of a difference.
Makes a massive difference.
His presence as well, though.
Absolutely, but
experience.
Presence, experience, communication. Obviously, as a, you know, playing at that time, I was playing as a centre half.
Yeah.
You know, and not having that voice behind you, or you know, giving you that confidence, then it was massive. But also, let's not forget that Div 1 was full of quality players.
Oh, absolutely.
Quality sides.
Yeah, no question.
You know, that Div 1 was exceptionally competitive.
Yeah, that particular Div 1 last season, I mean, you'd have to be an unbelievable group of people to win it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
that's the Abergavenny in the league. I was just saying,
just said the penny drop there.
I was thinking about it and going like, don't fucking bite.
I'm surprised I didn't go to the top on.
I know, yeah. I wore it yesterday, I wore it to bed. But no, you're right, though. I mean, I think back to some of the teams that used to, like Bridgend Town used to be spending 50% more money than anyone in the league, and they'd finish 7th or 8th every year. They'd sign every year, it'd be like the Galacticos of Welsh League football, they'd go in, that group would fail, following summer, in comes another 7 big money players, and they never even used to trouble the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, like obviously when I first joined Caerleon, like, you know, I know Dean's been on the show, Dean Morris. You know, my first season with Caerleon, coming up against Dean Morris. Andrew Hughes, what a player he was. Oh my God, what a player. You know, and I was coming up against him. He was sort of probably early 20s then, and I was, you know, 17 years old. You know, and you know, he's scoring 30, 35 goals a season from midfield.
Yeah, superb.
And do you know what a player? And that Tom Pentra side, well, they were. And I know Dean's spoken about it, and you know, but as a young kid, you know, going up to Tom Pentra, playing under the lights, playing against a team like that, you know, Kevin on the side, as Kevin was, you know, he was that pitbull on the side, wasn't he? And you know, sometimes you just think, I'm out of my depth here as a 17-year-old kid, you know, but you know, some of those teams were phenomenal.
Yeah, awesome lineups, and
absolutely,
I could still name some of those teams now from the teams that won it. Just tremendous. Yeah. So you've come down. Yeah. And then, so what was that like for you? Like, I've never had the conversation with any of the guys of what that summer was like, because obviously the relegations happened, Evo standing down. So Evo had obviously been a big part of things of getting them to where they were. Yeah. So that made it even harder. And then in comes this 30-year-old from Cardiff. Who's in his first team manager's job. But what was going on around that summer? Take me out of it. When you've been relegated, the club that Rod and I are part of, we know, because we've had 2 in 2 years, players are looking for the exit doors all over the place. Then there's a new manager that none of them have ever met before.
I think it's a bit weird, because I think people deep down knew that Ever wasn't going to go on forever. It was going to happen at one point. It's just what happens then, who comes in, and to be fair, I know that Crossy is a very close-knit club, for want of a better term, but I think my opinion then, and I still sort of stand by it now, is that having an outsider come in was the right move for the club at that time. Because for me, like obviously Ever had an unbelievable 5-6 years where he brought from Gwent County into Welsh League 3, into Welsh League 2, into Welsh League 1. And him and Gilly did a fantastic job with that group of players. But that cycle essentially ended. So where does the club turn to? For me, it was good. It was a good move for the club to have somebody external then to come in and take the club forward. And I was of that opinion then. I'm not of the same opinion then. Now.
Do you think that the club was really ready for what that meant, though?
No.
Because it sounds, you say it to me there. That's exactly how they put it to me when they interviewed me. Right? It was exactly that. My thing looking back, I don't think they were truly. I don't think they'd had the conversation around what bringing an outsider in actually looked like. We can see a whiteboard over in the corner of the room here. I don't think anyone stood up with one of them or a flip chart and said, right, what are the pros and cons of an outsider coming in here? I think they thought, I'll get the outsider. He's done okay with Abergavenny and Dennis Powers as a coach. I would get him in here. And then 13 players went to Goitra. So nobody expected that when I took the job. No. Do you know what I mean? But by the time we had that first training session, I think 8 had already gone because they were back then in the league below. And there were 4 or 5 others being poached, weren't there?
Yeah. Wilmot was one, wasn't he? Was Wilmot one?
He got dogs abuse, didn't he, when he went Wilmot? Wilmot was the last to go, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he was one.
Wilmot, he had a good few months with us before he went. But lots of the bigger names went up there, and your Walkers and people like that went up there.
But again, I think that sort of almost clean slate was needed. As good of servants as they've been to the club.
I agree with that, and it's what me and Rod and Dog, who was with us, spoke about at the time. But I don't think the club thought that at the time. And that was the big difficulty for me. That was my biggest challenge. Was that and do you know something? I still remember after training one day, Rod, me, and Dog, Dave O'Gorman, my assistant. We just put all the stuff back in the stand after training in the summer, and I went, you know what? I said, all I hear in this place is Jenkins. Right? And I'd never met Jody at that point because Jody'd retired. Everyone knew 1 week before the season he'd come back, right? So obviously Jamie had trained once or twice or something like that, and Dan had been there a couple of times, whatever. But it was like I was very aware that it was just like I'm a young manager. Do you know what I mean? I almost need rid of those two. Even though Jamie, what a player. I always qualify when I talk to people about Jamie. I always say I still remember my first league game when he took a corner with his right, and a corner with his right, corner with his right foot, and Jody scored. And he took a free kick with his left foot, and Jody scored. Right, the quality that man had. But he was of an age and a weight that, in a struggling side, you couldn't have a luxury player like him anymore. Class player, but he just didn't fit things, and that was the thing for me. And to this day, I'm still surprised I survived that battle with Jamie Jenkins. I
think for me though, as a player, the fact that you stood up for what you believed in, and I obviously now haven't been a manager, the fact that you stood by your principles, your beliefs, your what's the word for it? I can't think of the word is now, but you stood by what you believed
Stupidity,
in.
probably.
No,
back
it's not
then.
stupidity.
Stubbornness, it would have been back then.
Stubborn,
Yeah.
but also the fact that you were like, well,
Yeah.
no, you know, my system doesn't potentially work with you in your current state. And to be fair to Jenko,
Yeah.
you know, he wasn't the lightest of players, was he? You know, he was a big lump back then. You know, yes, he could do a job with the ball at his feet, but you know, in his condition then,
Because we didn't really have a formation that, I still don't have one now that I'm married to, right? But what we found was over the first 6 weeks of the season, especially when you were injured at the start of the season, we didn't have anyone that could head the ball at the back, right? So we had to play with a sweeper because we were losing against front twos all the time, clipping it up to the big man, flick on, problem. Remember Adam Raymond? Newcastle Emlyn, played against him Saturday here, Landrum Leaders.
Was it?
Yeah, he's still playing.
still plays.
He was winning every header and they were running in behind us. And the problem with that, and obviously you've got Jody Jenkins up front, that will score 40 goals a season, but you won't have to wash his shirt for a month at a time because the guy just doesn't move. But one of the, honestly, probably the best finisher I ever worked with. And when you think I worked with Matty Davis, Chris Summers, people like that, the best finisher I saw, right?
Absolutely.
Amazing. And but when you've got a 9 up there doing that, you can't have another one in midfield that's not doing any work. Do you know what I mean? And that was the thing for me. That was the problem. I never doubted his quality. It was just, where'd you put him in this team? And people would be saying, oh, he's played left back, and I'd be thinking, I need my left back up and down at all times.
But also, again, with the greatest respect, in his condition, if you've got a nippy winger, you're just going to go. The first thing you're going to do is go.
Just clip it behind him. Yeah, 100%.
I do. He's never going to catch you.
Yeah.
You know, as good as he was, and to be fair, he wasn't bad in here. To be fair, Jenks.
I get where he was coming from at the timeline, because when he's looking out onto a football pitch and he's seeing certain players that I won't name out there, and he's thinking, I've played in Europe, man. How am I sat on this bench? I get it. I do get it.
Of course you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But I mean, don't want to labour the point, but I'm still to this day surprised I won that one, because I think at the time results were okay, but it was definitely a transition period in the team. And so because it was only October when I told him the night before he was going to be on the bench, because it had all been building up, and then he didn't turn up. And when he didn't turn up, I think that played into my hands a little bit, really.
Of course it did, It always makes it easier for you as a manager then, doesn't it? I've told him he's not going to be, we've had a conversation and he hasn't turned up. At the end of the day, the ball's in his court.
Absolutely, it's a shame. I would have loved to have had him 4 years earlier.
Well, what
a player!
The thing is, though, even if he'd lost, even if he'd lost a stone and a half or 2 stone, I mean, he could have been such an asset to that team.
The whole league.
He could have. He could have been.
Definitely. It was an interesting one, though, wasn't it? An interesting season, because we had the mass relegation thing going on as well. So it was. I always remember we were at Newport YMCA with about 5 games to go, because we had a backlog, didn't we? So we played 10 matches in April in that first season.
I remember it well.
Is that the one I talked about where Jody's over his shoulder?
No, but it was Newport YM away, so Jody must have scored a last-minute winner. He did it every year, didn't he?
We got battered for 90 minutes and we had one shot over his shoulder and he went straight in.
But I remember giving the pre-match talk and naming the team, and the conversation pre-match included, if we win today, you know, we're very much still with an outside chance of promotion in the top 3. But we got to look over our shoulder because it's 7 down.
That was absolute chaos, that wasn't it?
It was carnage, wasn't it?
Madness.
So obviously we didn't go up, and do you know what? I still remember it now. Those 10 matches in the month of April, because of obviously waterlogged pitches and our cup run. I remember it, that there were points that we gave away that, had they not been squashed into 1 month, wouldn't have happened. And I still wonder if we might have got ourselves promoted that year if we didn't have the cup run.
The one thing I remember was Newcastle Emlyn away.
No one forgets that.
That horrible feeling.
No, that was the following year.
Was it
Oh, the following year. Yeah. The first year was the cup win, with the 10 games in a month before it, and then the second year was when we missed out on promotion.
Newcastle Emden away.
Newcastle Emden away last game.
Oh, yes, was it?
Yeah, we'll get to
Man
that
United
now.
Champions League final.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
What a day that was.
Christ, yeah.
But yeah, so look, we got through all those games, but you know that thing sometimes things just all fall into place. And I was looking at photos the other day because obviously I was looking for a photo of you to put on Twitter. Yeah. And the photo I'm going to talk about is a photo of him coming off the pitch at the cup final. I was against Goitra. Before the game, after the warm-up. And you look at it now and you go, fucking hell, look at Brownie. He's like 10 games in a row. Like you said earlier on, he's a racing snake. He was like a racing snake because he played 90 minutes every 2 days for 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah.
Right? Remind me of this, because where in that 10 game run, where's the cup semi-final in that? Is that before the 10 games or he's in smack in the middle of it?
Pretty much in the middle, wasn't it? Because that was when Hugh broke his leg.
Semi-final? No, the semi-final would have been maybe even at the end of March.
So before that 10 game run.
It was before that. So it was a big,
10 game run,
decent chunk of time, right? Yeah. And I do you know what, this is I don't think I ever told you the story. We were playing Langoina away on the Saturday before, and it was a bit of a bog, and it's always, pitch was never great down there, was it? It's just not a nice away game, is it, Langoina? Good clubhouse. Yeah. We were there in the first series. Good clubhouse. Yeah. But yeah.
They still play on that same
and
pitch,
we've gone down there, and we had a couple of lads missing, and I've left a few players out as well, because obviously, if you remember, we had 4 or 5 players that were all cup tied.
I think I was on the bench that game.
You might have been, because I would have been thinking about a semi-final 3-4 days later, right? Yeah. And because we had 3-4 players that were cup tied. If you remember Jay Davis, Don Broad, people like that. They were all cup tied. Yeah. So we play all of them because we can't risk. Because if 3 of you got injured, they can't play Tuesday. You're playing Barry Town. Yeah. So yeah, I remember we lost at Langoina anyway. We weren't a bad side back then. Yeah. And I can still remember now, I'm sitting in the cafe at David Lloyd's. Only bit at David Lloyd's I go in. Obviously, cafe, not the gym. and the phone rings, and it's Evo, who by now is chairman, isn't he? Fucking hell.
Course rip.
Oh, I thought he was going to sack me. Like 2 days before the semi-final, right? So in the end, right, it got a bit heated, and I just said to him, "Look, Ev, I'm the manager, right?" And he went, "Yeah, and I'm the fucking chairman." And I thought, right, this conversation's going nowhere. Yeah. And so in the end, I just said, "Look, I've left players out. I don't think we can get promoted." And he went, "No, not promoted. We're going to go down at this rate." And I think we were about 6th in the league. Now, I know it was 7 to go down. Yeah. But I thought, fucking, thanks very much, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thanks for your vote of confidence.
He thought we had no chance against Barry, so he couldn't understand why I would be resting players against Langoina. Yeah. And obviously we go on to beat Barry, and we obviously get to the final.
Hang on. First thing he says about that semi-final is Hugh breaks his leg. What he doesn't talk about is the fucking goal he scored. where we'd actually, we can say it. We'd actually identified that Danny Clare switches off on crosses, and what did he say to you on it? Run off the back of him. And there's the fucking winner.
Doesn't sound bad at all.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. No,
do you know what, like, he's such a good lad, Dan, right? Yeah, and this will now be the second episode out of 3 where we've hammered him, where we're kicking shit into Dan Clare, right? But when I saw him crying after that game, it's probably the only time ever I've thought, fucking good enough for you. After all of the run around he gave us that summer, right, and prostituting himself down at Barry Town and all of this, right? And so I'll take it that day. I'll take that one.
But it's better the fact we had identified by watching it that he switches off on crosses.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he appeared there.
It was weird though, because I from that game, obviously Hugh broke his leg, and that was
it was a shocker.
It was an absolute shocker. It was a shock, and that was the thing. And I think that massively, obviously, as it would, galvanised us, and it was like the Alamo at times in that game, and I just that goal for me, obviously, it didn't get anywhere near any other set pieces in that game. Just didn't get anywhere near them at all. And obviously, it was just there. I just attacked it.
But that's the lesson, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is that any decent, I mean, nowadays there's fucking set piece coaches, aren't there? But any decent coach nowadays is going to say, look, you might have to make 15 runs for it to come anywhere near you once. But if you make 14 and give up, the 15th it'll go straight where you would have been.
Straight where you should have been, yeah.
And that's a great example of that.
And that's what I tell our 15s now. You know, you're not going to get the ball every time you make a run.
Yeah.
You know, but
cycle.
9 times.
This one time I was in the semi-final against Barry Town.
No, I don't subject them to that. No, I don't. To be fair. But you know, it's you know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's a prime example of that, though, isn't it? And to be fair, the set piece deliveries that we had were always decent as well. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I'm not going to big cars yet, but you know, he could put a ball in an area which would cause issues.
We had two, didn't we? We had Caerleon and we had Ryan Fahy as well, who could absolutely whip one in.
But yeah, you know,
we were very lucky with that.
But you know, I think, you know, for me, it was it was probably the most memorable goal I scored. I think. It
was a great night.
It was a great night.
It was a great night. And to end that Evo story about the team and all that, and he came over with me in the clubhouse afterwards. I was talking to Gavin Chesterfield, and he appeared alongside me, and he went, "Right, well done." He went like that. He said, "See that team out there tonight? That's the team that should be playing, isn't it?" And I went, "We'll talk tomorrow, Ev." And he went off back to all the other blue coats in the corner, and Gavin Chesterfield was like, "Who was that?" And I asked the chairman. I said, we had words on Sunday. I said, he is a good bloke. Right? Gavin was raging for me. I mean, he's a good bloke. He's just very passionate. He's like,
I think Edwell, you know, he's even now, like, you know, he's sort of obviously taken a step back from. He's still on the committee. He's taken a step back, but you know, he's ultimately he just wants what's best for the club.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I think anyway, you only got to see him walk into the club in that place. Everyone respects him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, if he walked in here now, I'd be like, well, stop for 10 minutes. We're gonna have to chat to him. Do you know what I mean?
And he is
just a great guy.
Yeah, he is. To be fair.
But and then we go. So that season we go on. We win the final. We've spoken about it on this podcast a lot. But you had quite a unique experience at that final, didn't you? Because you you didn't make it full time, did you? Is my memory serving me right there?
Yeah. So I had a right old battle with Richie Ryan.
No, you fucking didn't. No one's ever had a battle with Richie Ryan.
Obviously, you know, talking about the decent lads and stuff, and Richie was obviously.
Who was his strike partner that night? Because they were wing backs. Frenchie. It must have been Frenchie you were battling. It couldn't have been Richie Ryan.
But you know, Richie obviously was a top striker, wasn't he?
Brilliant. Brilliant.
You know, and you know, he'd score from anything when he a little bit different to Jody, but you know, he actually moved around a little bit. But I mean, I tried my best to stick to him as much as I could and try and compete with him. But I think it was the last 5-6 minutes, I think it was, of the game.
Yeah, well, it was about 5-6 minutes.
And the young lad they brought in on as a sub and jumped up for a header. I don't think I lost many headers that game, to be fair. And as I jumped up, he caught me with the elbow, split my head open. And the worst thing was my wife had flown to Hong Kong that morning to go on a hen weekend with her because her best friend had moved out to Hong Kong. And my brother was there with my daughter, who was sort of 18 months old at the time. So I spent the night in the hospital, missed all the celebrations.
You were whisked off to a hospital with a big white bandage.
I made sure I got my medal first, though.
Yes,
Felt sick as a pig.
There are a couple of photos of you, aren't there, with the bandage?
There's a couple of photos of the boys all celebrating, and you could just see he's on a different planet.
Yeah, I was. and the worst thing was, I remember being led on the floor, and that's the first time I'd really been sort of had knocked out then with a blow to the head. And I can just remember being on the floor and just that sort of horrible fuzzy feelings, like if it, when you faint, you just got that white sort of noise and lights really bright. Lights weren't on, but it was just like really blinding. And I was thinking, oh my god, what the hell's happened? And then somebody said blood. I was thinking, oh, my nose is all right. I can't feel anything. And then I felt a trickle down the side. And I was thinking,
yeah, you don't need it, you.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, I'm out of this now. And that was it. And I can remember being sat on the bench. I can just remember feeling ridiculously sick.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It was a hell of a hit.
Yeah.
And not only the hit, but the
fall as well.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, I think, for me. Like the hit of the elbow first, but then like obviously falling, sort of shoulder, and then that was, it was a weird sensation.
It all worked out. You were okay.
Yeah.
We got it through at 3-1 full time.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, for 7 minutes I hated your guts. Because it meant Rhys Carr was playing centre back for 7 minutes, and nobody wanted that.
No.
Especially Rhys Carr.
Bless him. But he's done his work and he scored from the halfway line. He's done his job.
Oh, I don't mention that. Jesus Christ.
But no, I think obviously that was an unbelievable sort of cup run that we had, and obviously the final. You know, I think was it the week before we played up with Coed.
Oh yeah. Were you there? Were you there?
I can't remember. No, I don't think I went. So, but you played. He played. Yeah.
Jan Mulvey played that.
Didn't Joel Dean play as well?
Yes.
Joel Dean played.
So the team that day was we had the second team keeper in goals.
Yeah.
Charlie was on the bench.
And we had, so I played, the second team manager, Mark played.
Tomo?
Yeah.
Well, Tom was now cheering.
Joel Dean. It was, what a great bloke he is, by the way, Tomo. But I think we had 1 or 2 of the people that were going to even be in the first team squad. Yeah. The bench that day was Rodri and John Turley, the first team keeper, right? So anyway, this is where emotions can get the better of you, right? So Lloyd were 4th in the league. They couldn't go up, but they were a very good team.
They were a good side. Yeah.
James Peckham was in goals, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Peckham. So we've gone up there with that team because I was raging, because I wanted squad players, all the cup-tied players to play, and Cardiff City played Blackpool
in the in the playoff final.
In the playoff final. So, and it was red hot. It was like 30 degrees.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
I
remember it just stood as midfield.
Anyways, so one thing I always like to get into when we talk about this game is guy who was an usher at my wedding, Craig Bolton, played centre midfield for Croesyceiliog.
Yeah.
And so did I that day. And he got dragged on 70 minutes, and that was his last ever game.
And you clapped him off.
Clapped him off.
It's the worst one.
Clapped him off. They retired him that day. Right? So anyway, we're 4-3 up with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah.
No, we're 4-2 up. Cross comes in, Peckham fucking drops it, and they score, and he turns to me in the dugout.
Chris Varden, Peckham goes down injured, right? So he's getting ready now, right? Because he thinks, well, it's going to be me coming on then. And I've gone, no, fuck this. Yeah. I've just run around for 83 minutes in the searing heat, right? Said, fucking get Charlie on here now. And he's looked at me and gone, no, don't be silly, because my head's... I'm like, no, I want to win now. We're winning. This team that wouldn't win a game in the Reserves League is beating Lloyd away 4-3. I want to win.
Charlie was sat there with his boots on, like the laces undone. He looked at me and I went, you got to go on, son. And he looked at me and he went, fuck off. And Charlie never swears. And I'm like, he said, we got a cup final this week. I said,
Gaffer said.
Yes, and I'm ready to go, mate, but he won't let me go goals.
Yeah, but I want to win. So anyway, we got away with it and we won the game. But my favourite bit was 10 minutes before half-time. The Cymru manager, Cookie, turned up. Yeah. And he walked around onto the bank up there at Lloyd, and I've just looked at him from the centre circle and gone, there's a waste of a day for you. And he obviously realised, no one's playing. Yeah. So, it was a good day. But obviously we won the final. It was the following year where we missed out by a point on the last day.
Yeah,
down at Newcastle Emlyn.
Yeah, it's mad. It's like, I don't remember a lot of games now, but I can just, that feeling of being sat in those showers, in that
It's
change room.
horrendous. Do you remember they started
they
singing
started
Scott Young's Barney Army?
Oh, so I was fourth, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because didn't you do something at one point when you better go in there and tell them to shut up, or we're going to go in there and
Yeah. I think that was one of the only times I was ready to fight somebody on.
Yeah, I swear I was spoke.
Yeah.
It was, oh God, I can't remember their manager was. When I spoke to him, I said, listen,
Wrap it up. Yeah.
if I hear one more song out of your lads, I'm just going to open the door and let them out. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he went and told them, shut up.
That was.
But yeah, it was a bad journey home. And then it was difficult then. That was one of the most difficult summers I ever had as a manager then.
I think that was when I think I started the season after, but I didn't.
Yeah, but the problem we had was that, look, we've got a team there that should have got promoted, but look, Callum Miles hit someone with a shot on the shoulder in the box in stoppage time. If it was 1 inch further to the right, it would have skimmed off his shoulder, gone in, and we were promoted.
Yeah.
We were that close to being promoted, and I just thought, right, we'll get some extra signings in now, and we'll go again. But not many of the players were in that headspace.
Yeah.
It was almost like they were exhausted from it, and they just wanted to. They wanted the summer off.
Yeah.
You know, I spent the entire summer chasing Jody Jenkins, Ryan Fahy, all these people around. The only one who was there all the time was Doige, Christian Doige, to be fair to him. And by about the end of September the following season, I was gone.
Yeah, so I think I wasn't. I was either just before you or not long after you.
You'd finished before, because that was the reason we went out and signed centre-backs. So we brought Nyron Bird in, brought Lloyd Stone in. But it was because you were finishing. It was a tough time. But the sad thing was around the time that I left, it's ironic, but we knew we'd had a tough time with holidays and injuries and a suspension and everything else. We'd had a real tough run of fixtures. But I knew we had Penrith Khyber, who weren't very good last season. We had Penrith Khyber that day, and then you looked at the next 4 or 5 fixtures and you think, you know what, this squad will probably win that just from quality. Like Jody was back from holiday and stuff like that. And it was the game before Penrith Khyber where I got the elbow, and the boys went and won at Penrith Khyber the following week, and I thought, that's no shock. Good size, do you know what I mean? Of course they'll win at Penrith Khyber. So, strange one. So, you then, like, surprisingly to me, ended up at Panteg at one point.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
So when I left Crossy, I had a very, very brief spell back at Abergavenny Thursdays with a mate of mine, which didn't last very long. And then I went self-employed for a bit of time. So I essentially gave up my job, went sort of contracting. And obviously I couldn't afford to get injured.
Yeah, of course.
And then I was away in Northampton working, and I was away Monday to Friday, home on the weekends, and really randomly bumped into Mark Taylor in Cymru. And obviously changed numbers with him. I've known Mark for, bloody hell, I'm 43. I've known Mark for probably 35 years easily. Mark was one of those lads who lived around the corner from me when I mentioned about my brother earlier on. He was one of the older lads who used to play football with us as youngsters. So I've known Mark a long, long time. And just chatted to him on a Saturday, and then exchanged numbers. Got chatting to him over the start of the season. And then when I came home from working away, he basically said, "Oh, you looking to get back into playing football?" And I was like, "Oh, not really, no." And I thought to myself, I'm not doing anything. Put a bit of weight on, I'm not doing anything. So I said to my wife, I'm just going to go training. Just going to go training. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to sign on. I'm just going to go train just to get me out of the house. Try and lose a bit of weight. And next thing I know, it's Lord Taylor with his persuasive powers.
We talked about that on Swedish for
I was just going to say, like, once you've turned up to one training session, that man is not letting you out.
No. So
turn up at your house.
He literally turned up with a form. Danny, you've got to sign this. And I was like, what have I got to sign it for? Just sign it. So I signed it, and I was it. Next thing you know, I trained 3 or 4 times, and then I was in. I actually played a lot of games for the reserve team towards the end. I think I played 8 or 9 games for the reserves. just to purely get back and eased back in. And ridiculously, I think I scored something like 6 goals in 8 games. all off set pieces, just purely because I just attacked them when I had it. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said to the boys, just put it in there. I said, I'll go and attack it. And yeah, I think I scored six goals in 8 games, I think, which was ridiculous.
Toilet needed. Yeah.
Can't tell it,
Man. What's your best Mark Taylor story? Because there must be a few.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark, for anyone that doesn't know him, what a character.
Mark's a boy and a half. Loves his football through and through. You know, he's football mad. Yeah. And again, he's another one that I sort of bent the ear off, obviously, when I started my managerial career. But so Mark, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but Mark's got a phobia of motorways.
Right.
So every time we had to drive, and obviously in Div 3 we had the likes of Abergavenny.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember what else. There's another team down that way as well. Swansea Uni were in Div 3 at the time as well. Caerleon were in there. So obviously we had to go heads to valleys because Mark can't go on the motorway.
Okay. is a dual carriageway that different to a motorway?
You'd have to ask him. But Mark's got his heads to the valleys route that he goes. So Mark had this big Land Rover, I think it was. So Mark was a passenger princess. So I had to drive Mark's Land Rover every week to football. So the one time we played Abergavenny, Llandarcy. It was me, Mark and Wilmot in the car. Yeah. And obviously Llandarcy is literally on the M4, isn't it? So we were bollocking it down the edge of the valleys on the way down, obviously Friday night game. I said to Mark, Friday night, it's going to be dead, motorway, I'm just going to boot it home. He's like, oh. I said, you right? He's like, well, I don't know if I can go on the motorway. I said, come on, Mark, we'll be fine. We'll just, quick hour, if that, from here. I said, I'll put my foot down, we'll be home in no time.
Is that a good thing to say someone with a motorway phobia, I'll put my foot down? Is that helping? You can have a get off quicker. You can sleep, can you?
Yeah. So anyway, I managed to convince him anyway. So we literally 10 minutes down the motorway, obviously going 70 miles an hour down the motorway, and all I can hear then is I can see him, he's getting really, really fidgety now, and Wilmot's in the back going, Mark, you all right? He's like, I'm thinking, I'm just sat there trying not to laugh. And all of a sudden, obviously Mark always wears a bobble hat everywhere. It's either a bobble hat or a baseball cap.
Spew?
No, he's got his baseball cap, he's got his bobble hat on, and he is dripping. And I mean, it wasn't a particularly warm evening. Heaters were on the car, and he's dripping with sweat. And I was like, Mark, do you want to pull over, mate? Yeah, pull over. Pull over the side of the motorway. Poor boy, literally jumped out. Like, he wasn't sick, but you could see he was hyperventilating. I felt so guilty. So we literally got off at the next stop, got back on the edge of the valleys and drove home. I genuinely felt really, really bad, because I'd forced him down the motorway for a good 20 minutes.
So just go in the back seat and just fucking go lie down.
No, he bless him, he was in a hell of a shape. Like I genuinely felt really, really bad after that.
Can you imagine it though?
I was so hard not to fucking laugh my head off.
It's a shame he's not still managing now at that level, because now players would know after this episode, players would know how to avoid him. Just get yourself on the motorway and he won't follow you. Because honestly, once he got a sniff of you he stuck to you like glue.
He did. Yeah. And Mark was one of those people though who, once he got talking to you about football, you were in. Yeah. He just had that unique knack, and like Skrino was a prime example. Next thing Skrino said he said he had 10 minutes with Mark. The next thing he was signing the mortgage. It's so ridiculous. And that's the thing. Like, but yeah, Mark. I love Mark. I got a lot of time for him. He's a top bloke. He's ironically now coaching at Crossy with his lads team. So they're a year below.
Oh, after everything he said about Croesyceiliog,
Mark's Mark. He's brilliant. I love him. I genuinely,
I just want to have
brilliant.
the conversation with him at some point. It'd be brilliant to get him on here. Talk me through the thought process of appointing Liam Screen as first team manager in the Welsh League. I'm just fascinated to know the thought process that must have.
Because he would have had a flip chart or a whiteboard out.
Like,
Mark,
well,
know.
I was going to say, I will say this. Obviously, I'm very fond of Screeno. I know a lot of people don't like him.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I've never actually met people who don't like him, actually, because he's such a funny bloke.
Yeah, he is. He's not very popular across the anyway. but for a good reason. There's a good reason for it. I think obviously they had a bit of a ding-dong the season that Panteg got relegated. And obviously when my first season, half the season I was in charge, we got relegated, and I'm good mates with Screeno, and he was giving our boys a load of shit on Twitter, or X as you call it now, isn't it? So he had his little comeback. So,
but why would you write to Screeny on Twitter?
Exactly, But
you're giving him what he wants.
Absolutely, yeah. But I think Mark's thinking with Screeno was obviously Mark will tell you himself, but Screeno, always like the dressing room. He brings all the boys together. He loves the crack. He can he'll get that togetherness with the boys. And at the time, Panteg was obviously going through a similar transition to what Crossy did when you came in. Obviously, Mark, long-serving manager, had gone. Steve and me, who were sort of Mark's assistants. Steve had gone up to be chairman. Obviously, Mark was still on the committee at that point, and Screeno. They decided that he was the best man for the job to keep the boys together first and foremost. But obviously, Screeno knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of contacts. He brought his mate Shinner in with him. I don't know if you met Shinner or do you know Shinner?
What's his name?
I don't know his name. I just know him as Shinner.
But is that Gareth Southern?
No. So Gareth Southern's a big lad. He's about 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he used to be an alright player actually. Back in the day.
Yeah, he used to play for Lamwin back in the day. But his mate Shinner randomly turned up to a game that I played in. I think it might have been a pre-season. Steve Stagg game actually. And Shinner turned up with a gum shield. I was thinking, thank God he's on my team.
Shinner.
Yeah, but he's a lovely guy.
If there's a guy out there that Screeny calls Shinner, because Screeny kicks the ball off his shin when he plays football, more than he does off his
he's a good lad though, Shinner. I will say he's at Caerleon now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's doing some coaching down Caerleon, I think. So, but yeah, he's a great lad. But yeah, so Screeno brought those two lads in with him, and obviously brought a few other lads in from Newport. And. He kept the boys together, which was the. He told
us a few stories after we finished recording.
I'm sure he did. Down here. Sure he did.
And the one that he wouldn't mind me repeating was he said, "Right lads, we were playing Caldicott away, and Caldicott were like top of the league."
Yeah.
And he said, "If we don't lose by 5 on Saturday, I'm paying for everyone to go on a piss all night." And they went down there, lost 4-1, and true to form, he paid for everyone's drinks.
I believe that. I Yeah. And that's the way I think Screeny, he is a character. He is a massive wind-up merchant. But I've got a lot of time for him, and a lot of respect for him. So yeah.
What did he do to wind the Crossy lads up on Twitter? Was it just when you were losing games? Was it or?
Yeah, but I think obviously because we got relegated basically on the last game of the season.
Yeah.
So we lost at home to Blaman. And obviously all the the season before Panteg got relegated at Crossy. I think Crossy beat them 4-3 or 5-4 or something stupid like that. Last game of the season, which obviously relegated Panteg. Yeah. Some of the Crossy lads were doing what Newcastle did to us at giving it the bigger in the showers and it does. It winds people up, and obviously they were going to give a bit of shit back and forth on X, and obviously whether he got relegated the following season.
He got a mind like an elephant. He remembers everything.
He did. And,
but do you remember he said,
I don't know why anyone would bite to him, honestly. But
fair play to him. He was well within his rights to do so, and they dish it out. You're saying that you dish it out, you've got to take it.
Absolutely.
We found him one of the mad things we were talking about, like, just brought something up in random conversation. And within about an hour, he sent us the video, the one about Fletcher on the floor. He still got it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But I love him. Yeah, he's brilliant. And funny we mentioned Fletch. Obviously, Fletch joined us.
Oh yeah,
didn't know that.
And he had a couple of games at Crossy.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Yeah,
they got rid of him.
So he was at I think he was at Panteg first, and then went to Crossy afterwards. I think, if I remember right.
He didn't last long.
Didn't he kick him out at Crossy for like hurling abuse at a female supporter or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
It was certainly under the cloud.
Yeah. I know it was under the cloud, but I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Something he said to somebody, he was kicked out.
It does ring a bell, but I'm not. I don't want to say that. I don't know. But like Fletch, what a boy he was as well, mind you know. And I know Screener was told a couple of stories about him, but obviously we had him at Panteg. He came in as a goalkeeper for us, and he went out on a night out, got drunk, had an argument.
This could go anywhere.
I know. had an argument with someone. Don't know who it was, whether it was ex-girl or his ex-partner or whatever it was. But punched the door, smashed his hand up. Turned up to football on Saturday. It was a pre-season friendly, luckily. Turns up, what's wrong with your hand, Fletch? Oh, I punched it. And I was like, oh, okay, you're right. Yeah, I'll be fine. So, of course, at the time, I was warming the keeper up and kicked the ball out now. Hit his hand. Oh, back it out. I was like, oh, bloody hell, Fletch, you all right? He's like, no, my hand's gone, it's gone. But he wanted to play. I was like, Fletch, it's a pre-season game, mate. There's nothing on it. We were up at, I think it was Blanavon, actually. And so I played in goal. And then the week after then, we played on Abergavenny 3G on the leisure centre. Exactly the same thing happened in the warm-up. Kicked the ball at him. Yeah, I'm fine. I think he played 25 odd minutes, and then I ended up playing in goal again. Saved the penalty as well. It was quite funny. And then I think it was our home. I think it might be. Was it against you?
I never faced Fletch.
No, I didn't play against him.
No, I never played against him.
Not playing. I think when you did you come to Panteg with Paul for a friendly? I don't think you were there.
Oh no. Yeah. It was when I was on holiday. I think they played a friendly.
Were you there?
Yeah, you would have been if I was there. Yeah.
Do you know what's coming?
Is it the one with Screedy?
Yeah.
Where he fly kicked someone in the chest.
Kirk.
Yeah. I'm stood in the dugout. Yeah. Because Kirk smashed young Brad, in the 16-17.
That's right, yeah.
And Screeny appears from about 50 yards running, and you could almost like that. It's like the Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Hadouken!
Yeah. It was like an old WWE kick into Kirk. Poor old Kirk, bless him. He's
going back to that Fletcher story, when you said, like Rod said, when you said the words that he'd been out the night before, if you just stop there, and you know, like on the chase where you get three options,
I was going to say, right? Just three.
So what happened here, right? If you'd said, right, stop there, tell us which one you think is true.
Yeah.
He ended up in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
He ended up jumping off the bridge into the Usk.
Yeah.
Or he ended up arrested and locked up in a cell for the night for strangling a bouncer. I'd be like,
it could be anyone.
It could be any of those or six other potential choices. Well, anything is possible.
Yeah. But what's made of that as well is we have talked about it. I love Fletch. He had an incredible ability.
Oh, I did.
And we've talked about it, that if a scout turned up on a one-off, you'd look at him and you'd think, he could be a professional goalkeeper. He's kicking, he's catching, he's communicating, but in equal measures, he could just be, it depends between the pendulum.
Yeah. Well, I can remember we played Caerleon again in the friendly pre-season, and again, same hand, it was that same sort of like 4 or 5 week period, and he came off. And I said, Fletch, get off, mate. You're injured. No point. He starts a couple of weeks. Back off, bro. And I was like, and the one and only time I think I've actually properly lost my head and wanted to fill somebody in was then. And I said to him, you better not be at that changing room by the time I get there. and fair play, he wasn't. But that was the only time I genuinely thought, I'm going to have to run off and punch somebody now. I don't know why it was. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just an accumulation of the last like 3 or 4 weeks where he just been like really pissing me off.
Yeah.
But then I can't remember exactly what he said to me. But I just remember the red mist descending.
Anything is possible out of his mouth.
Yeah. When he's in that zone.
longer.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, I am actually going to kill him. And the worst thing was, I was the first aider as well. So I had the medic back through the leg.
Just taking me your band.
I just wanted to kill him. But yeah, he was a boy and a half. He was a boy and a half, yeah, Fletch.
Did you have him and Screeno in the dressing room at the same time?
Yeah.
How brutal?
No.
Those two in the dressing room together, Screeno could absolutely destroy him.
Oh, do we have? I'm trying to think actually. No, because because Screeno joined that year.
Screeno was with Porth, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But he didn't finish the season with us.
No, I was going to say he came to us. Obviously that incident happened with Kirk and Screeno in that game. And then about 3 weeks later, he signed for us. 3 or 4 weeks later, he signed for us. Yeah. So Fletch, they must have been some overlap.
But he absolutely
they were
battered him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nightmare. So how have you ended up as a gaffer then? Because if I'd said to you back when you were playing for us at Crossy, do you want to do what I do one day? I think you'd have gone, you must be joking. Meaning, not only being a manager, because you obviously always had leadership skills and that, but more, would you ever want to run this club? Seeing the sort of up and down relationship I would have with the Blue Coats.
I think for me, obviously the difference was we didn't see that. We heard it from the side, but obviously we didn't sit in those committee meetings that you had to go through. I mean, I did sit in a few, obviously, as a player rep for a little period of time. But obviously I started my coaching with Mark at Panteg. And then obviously I took my lads team on. They were under 8s or 9s, I think. And then obviously who was it? I think it was Wilmot finished. Is it Wilmot? Yeah, I think it was Wilmot finished at Crossy. They brought 2 lads.
I was gutted for him there actually, because I thought he might have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Because it was always not dreams the wrong word, but it was always his ultimate that he wanted to manage.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And so it was Jenko. It was Jenko and Howler had it. And then obviously they stepped down and they brought a guy in from Bristol way, Dennis. And I obviously, because I was at the club with me and Gaz with the 15s at the club. So they were training quite often before us on a Wednesday. So speak that obviously I know a couple of lads were still playing at the time. So your Cloudfies, your Jake Haywards, Tesco, Mario, those boys are still there. And so I just got chatting away to them, asking how everything was going. And
before we go on, for the people that are not from the Cwmbran area, Tesco. Tesco is the greatest nickname ever invented, in my opinion, right? For the people that don't know Tesco's name, tell people what Tesco's name is.
Jack Sainsbury.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
But everyone knows him as Tesco, but that's the brilliant thing about it.
I think that's such genius, because it's so straightforward. Yeah, it is. It's so simple. But whoever came up with that is genius.
I don't know who came up with it. It's brilliant. I think that's it's brilliant. But it's funny that
the first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh, world class."
The thing is, it's one of those things. I don't know if you see it on social media now. There's like a lot of these sort of podcasts about. What's your mate's nickname is sort of stuck for the year. And the Welsh ones always come out with brilliant nicknames, don't they? But Tesco's right up there.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. It's not from football. So it was I was on a trip to Ireland once, and a guy, I won't do the accent, but he leans over and he says, "Come here." He says, "There's a guy that worked in a factory where I used to work, and he said he had one arm longer than the other. What do you think they called him?" Clock.
That's fucking brilliant.
Brilliant.
I don't possess the comedy ability to come up with stuff like that.
No,
but it's just so simple.
It is, and that's the thing, yeah. So, brilliant.
Great.
Yeah, so
they've dragged you in, basically.
Well, no. So Dennis and Mark were in charge, obviously up until sort of October time.
Yeah.
I think the first time I sort of got, obviously Scott Packer was chairman at the time, and obviously I'd seen Scott at the time, a lot of the time at the club, and obviously I know Scott for a long time. And really random, one Wednesday night after we'd finished training, Scott rang me and said, Brownie, can you do me a favour? You around on the weekend, or on, I think it was like the Thursday or Friday night game they had. He said, can you give Dennis a hand? And I said, yeah, no problem. What do you need me for? Do what you want me to do, basically. Yeah. So he said, yeah, just meet at the time. Here's his number. So I rang him and said, hi, Dennis, what do you want me to do, basically? He said, brrilliant, Mark's on all day. He's not going to be back in time from the airport. I can time to relax. So, no problem. I said, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to do the warm-up? Do you want me to, first aid? What do you want? He said, yeah, just be down there at whatever time it was. So I rocked up, sort of sat, said hello to the lads, said hello to Den, and next thing I know, Mark walks in. So I just stood around like a spare prick. Didn't do anything. So I was thinking, it's a bit fucking naughty, like. But yeah, so I just watched the game as a spectator then almost, and obviously results didn't go the way that they wanted, and then next thing I know, Scott rings me and asks me about the job, and I was like, oh Scott, I don't know about that. And I said, look, if you are going to get rid of the manager, I said, I'll step in and help out. I said, but I don't want it full time. Famous last words, wasn't it? So my wife was like, oh, who's that? And I said, oh, Scott from the club. She said, right, what does he want? I said, well, he's offered me the first team job if I want it. I told her, I said, I'll do it temporarily. I said, until Christmas, until they find somebody else to do it. But he told me he wants me to do it full time. Yeah. So I was like, and then she went, well, you do want to do it, don't you? And I was like,
it's funny how that happens in marriages, though, isn't it? Is that once the wife almost says, go on in, like,
but it was weird though, because like obviously as a player, and obviously my son plays for Crossy, and at that time, you kind of I always kept an eye on the results, obviously, as is my club essentially, and the app's great now. You can keep an eye on everything, can't you? And it was weird. So I always kept an eye on it, and just I thought, I wouldn't mind a stab at it. I wouldn't mind a go at it. But yeah, obviously, when I spoke to Kerry, then she basically said, yeah, you've always you wanted to do it, so yeah. And I said, I don't know if it's the right time.
Yeah,
because obviously,
it wasn't an easy time, was it?
No, but obviously as well, like obviously they'd had pre-season with Dennis and his ideas, how he wanted to play. We didn't really have that time with him. Or I didn't have that time with him. And then obviously the other thing then was, who am I going to bring in with me? And I said to Scott, I said, look, mate, it's a big ask. And I said, I'm not going to do it on my own. And he was weird because he said, well. And I was like, right.
And they've already spoke to someone.
And he said, obviously, Lewis Clare, Dan's brother. Yeah. Lewis had already started the season at Crossy, had left because of a fallout with Dennis. And obviously, Lewis had already spoken to Scott. If they were going to get rid of Dennis, then he would come in and help out, basically, as a coach. And do some sessions for the boys, etc. So
decent football brain on him as well, though, isn't there? So that's a godsend to someone like that.
So as it happened, then Scott said, "How do you feel about Lewis?" And I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, I've had this conversation with Lewis," and I was like, "Oh, great, okay." So I sent his number. I was probably on the phone for about 30 seconds before I knew that was the right person to have with me. Yeah. We had a really good chat, and next thing you know, we were in. Yeah. So our first game was away at Chepstow, I think it was. Yeah. And the one thing that kind of baffled me a little bit is we played the first half. We came in at half time. I had a little tactics board, just set the boys, just a little bit tactical tweaks more than anything else. Little, nothing major, just a couple of tweaks, a couple of words of encouragement. We went out, we drew the game 2-2, should have won it. But really, really good performance in the first game that we had. And the thing that really surprised me was after the game in the clubhouse, like 3 or 4 of our lads come up to us, to me and Lewis, and said, "We never had that with Dennis. The fact that you've come in and given us instructions or told us to do things slightly differently, or that sort of tactical chat."
Knowing how you used to communicate as a player, I've never been in the dressing room when you're talking to a team, but I'd imagine you provide clarity, and I think that's these clipboard fuckers. They're just full of triggers and this and that for players that are playing for nothing into your 5, 6, and clarity is what I'm sure they're actually describing there.
Yeah, I think for me, you've got to keep your message simple.
Yeah.
I mean, like I always say this to the women's team, I know my women's team are going to give me 100% effort every single week. I don't have to ask them for that.
Yeah.
It's just the simple tweaks.
Yeah.
A lot of the women, to be fair to them, they don't watch football. They've never played. Some of the girls that I've got in my team now, I've got one player who's just started playing now. She's 36. Her daughter's playing football. She's got inspired. I might have a go at that.
Yeah.
So she's asking me for, obviously, in training and stuff like that, we have a conversation about it. But ultimately, in the game, I've got 15 minutes to try and affect the result. I've got to give a clear, or what I believe is clear instructions for us to win the game, or certainly not lose it. So my message has got to be clear. It's got to be consistent. And if we do have to change things tactically, then we change it.
Yeah.
So
you went on a bit of a ride, because obviously initially you've had to go backwards to go forwards.
I mean, I think for me, that sort of half a season in that Div 3, it was a massive learning curve, because obviously I'd spent time at Panteg. Mark was obviously the main man at Panteg. I was just sort of learning from him. I think obviously the club's aim was to avoid relegation.
Yeah.
And I think me looking back on it, I know they always say, hindsight's a great thing. I was probably a little bit naive, because I wanted to win every single game. Rather than sometimes go and, we need to shut up shop and not lose the game, like we were saying earlier on. I wanted to win every game. I wanted to get those points on the board as quickly as possible to then say, right, we're safe. Now let's start to build for next season. And as it happened, it came down to the last game of the season.
It's like business and life, though, generally, isn't it? When you're trying to avoid a relegation, not on a last day of a season, but when you're trying to avoid a relegation over a 3 or 4 month period, look at everything you do over a 4-month period. So, like I said, our game on Saturday here is 1-1 against top of the league, Lanramy, and there's people getting excited, wanting to throw players forward in the 95th minute. Yeah. It's just like, guys, a point at home against top of the league is pretty good. Yeah. Don't play with a flat back 9, but should we leave 4 back for this now and just look after the point?
Yeah,
you know,
I think
if that was the last game of the season, then you leave no one on the halfway line. You throw everything at it. Of course you do. Yeah. But you can throw away valuable points with decisions that you make 10 minutes from time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think mine and Lewis's sort of game plan. Obviously, we try and we'd have a starting game plan for every game. Yeah. We then had maybe 2 or 3 backup plans. Yeah. The substitutes we had on the bench, we knew we could cover a lot of positions with the boys we had on the bench with our squad. We knew that in our starting 11 we could potentially move lads 2 or 3 times positionally to suit a change of formation or to suit a change of play. And that was one of the things that we sort of really, really wanted to hammer home with the lads. But obviously that season we got relegated. It all came down to the last game of the season, which was a home game against Blaenavon. And again, with hindsight, we should never have played that game because the pitch was rock hard. The heavens opened probably 3-4 hours before kick-off. We were desperate to get the game played because obviously we wanted, the fate was in our hands. We didn't want to prolong that wait. Yeah. it massively backfired on us because give Blavan the credit on that day, they took us to school. They, we were second best all over the park.
Why were you so desperate to get it on? Was there like holidays coming up, or?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I think it was I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a little bit of naivety. I wanted to get that game played. I wanted to try and get it over and done with either way.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So we can at least then we can start planning. And I think that was the big thing. We missed pre-season. We came in halfway through the season.
Yeah.
And we got relegated, which ironically was probably one of the best things that probably could happen to the club.
I wondered what would happen because most clubs it's a difficult thing when you get relegated. But knowing that club as I do, when you lose 2 games, what the atmosphere can become like in the place. I sort of, what's that going to be like now after a relegation out of the Welsh League?
I think, to be honest with you, I think obviously a lot of the sort of older heads that were probably on the committee when you were there, sort of taking a backward step.
Yeah, probably.
But also, I think that season, or that summer then, we had a new committee, a whole new committee essentially coming in. So, again, I mentioned my brother. My brother's now club secretary. His partner's our treasurer. We've got pretty much a whole new committee in place now over the last 3 years. And the club committee now is I'm not saying it's far more organised, but it's in a much better place now. We've got a few younger bodies on there, a few younger heads with fresh ideas. Yeah. And it's the club off the pitch is really, really healthy at the moment, which is great.
So what's did you appreciate what you ultimately went on to do, which was bring them straight back up? Did you appreciate what a hard job that is? Because you achieved it, so maybe it didn't feel hard. But if you look football not only football in Wales, non-professional football everywhere in Europe, it doesn't happen more often than it does.
No, it doesn't. But I think Lewis and I, basically as soon as that we lost the game 3-0 at home to Blaenavon. An hour after kick-off, Lewis and I were in the change rooms planning for the season afterwards. We'd already identified positions we need to strengthen. Yeah. We'd already looked at players we could potentially try and pull in.
But there's plenty of managers that get relegated that do that and they don't come straight back. Or anywhere near it.
Yeah, possibly. But I think it's weird. I think the other thing as well, which made it probably, and it's weird because I didn't tend to, and I still really haven't now really taken the time to look back and look at that as an achievement, if that makes sense. Yeah. We just it all, and again, it sounds daft, but that season went so quick. But I think for me, that summer, we had a really, really good pre-season. Yeah. Really good pre-season.
Massive, isn't it? If you have a good pre-season, it gives you the players building.
But then, the issue was, we had a really good pre-season in terms of training, numbers, etc. Obviously, we lost a player, Tom Wharton, that summer, which obviously had a massive, massive impact on the players. Tom was 19. Yeah. A lot of his friends are at the club and still at the club. Yeah. That had a massive impact. Tom was he was a second team player. He was training with the first team. The plan was to integrate him into first team football. Yeah. He made he only came training probably 3-4 times with us as a first team squad, but he made a massive impression on me. Obviously Lewis knew him before I did, but for a lad who was so young, leadership skills, communication, far above his age. Do you know what I mean? But he was like that all through school. Apparently, obviously I didn't know him as a youngster, but everyone who I've spoken to about him, always commented on how much of a leader he was, how vocal he was, how much he always sort of set the standard. And you see it. You don't see it very often in kids like that, especially this day and age. You don't see it.
No, it's very rare.
And he was. That was a massive blow for the club. It was, and I was really, really proud of how all the lads, all the community, the club, the committee, everyone involved. I was so glad that everyone pulled together the way that they did at that time. Yeah. Because if we didn't, I don't think what we did that season would have happened.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it was obviously a difficult time that summer.
Yeah, I mean,
then,
Jesus.
Yeah,
it's an incredibly difficult thing. We obviously had a Llanrumney, but it was at the end of a season with Ryan Ford. The year we unfortunately won the league, and then we lost Ryan probably a month after the season finished.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly difficult, and it can go one or two ways, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you can have people going, "Oh, I don't want to be around there anymore. It just reminds me too much," which can be the case. But you've had a brilliant season. You've brought them straight back. I from looking at you, I don't think you realise what an achievement that is. So how did you find it? You've come back. I came to watch you in early October away at Chepstow, and you won. Yeah. And I thought Chepstow were really good, so I thought that was a great result.
It was.
But that was very much a battle of what you touched on. Croesyceiliog had the inferior team on that pitch that day, but you set up in a certain way and you found a way to win. It wasn't a smash and grab like a corner and you just defended for 90 minutes. You had a very definite way of how you did it. And I thought it was a great result. You obviously did the season, and then that was that. Yeah. So why? Because when I saw you, you were getting a bit of earache because you hadn't won every game when you come up. You had injuries and holidays.
Ironically, it's funny you should say about the earache. I think at that point, I think we were like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, it wasn't far. It was maybe 6 games into the season, 7, something like that.
I think this is part of the problem now with the season starting so early. And
it's a joke in that league. What a joke!
It's early August.
July,
20th of July.
It's a joke.
Well, the Gwent County started, and obviously with Gwent County, the midweek is a 6 o'clock kickoff. So you can imagine the issues that throws up, especially when you've got to travel across Gwent for a 6 o'clock kickoff. Do you know what I mean? Killick Wasps, you know, in the other side of Abergavenny for 6 o'clock. It's ridiculous. And obviously the Gwent County season, our first game, going back to the Gwent County season, our first game was Rogie at home. Okay. I wasn't there, I was on holiday. Yeah. We lost 1-0. And I was thinking...
That's the worst when you know
it. It was. Yeah. But Rogie scored within the first 5 minutes, and then they literally went 11 men behind the ball. Right. Okay. They fully deserved their victory, from what I was told. Yeah. We missed chances, but ultimately they walked away with the 3 points. Yeah. And I won't forget it, because somebody from Coediva Club wrote it on social media under the results on our thing. You thought you'd win this. You thought you'd walk this league, or something along those terms. I thought, you cheeky bastard. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I don't even know this bloke. Already, I don't like him. And it's
he's from a massive club.
Yeah. But I thought, and do you know what though? I think that season, that was the one thing that really spurred me on. That one comment, and we got to. I think our last defeat in the league was October. I think it was 7th or 14th of October against Pill down there, and then we lost to them in the cup. We lost them in the cup in the January. But in the January, so I had obviously it was myself and Lewis. So in my time out of football, I started doing taekwondo with my kids, and one of the instructors from the taekwondo gym was doing a strength and conditioning course. Yeah. So I said to him, after I dropped my daughter off to the club, I said, "Oh, James, do you want to chat?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you need some hours like for your course?" Obviously doing a uni degree. He said, "Oh yeah, I do." So, "Do you fancy coming down to the club and doing a couple of sessions with the boys?" He's like, "Oh, right, okay." But he'd always been obviously in a martial arts environment. Yeah. So him coming to a football club, obviously never been in that sort of environment with the lads.
Dressing room,
dressing room. He's never had that. Of course, literally the first half an hour, he was like, "Oh, I want to come every week." Yeah. So I was like, brilliant. So James came in and did some S&C stuff with us and got the boys in a really, really good shape. And they took a big weight off Lewis and I doing the fitness side of things for the boys. So it allowed Lewis and I to concentrate on football. So, you know, it got to games in Gwent County where teams were blowing up after sort of 55, 60 minutes. We were powering through till like 95, 96 minutes. Because the boys were so fit, and it made a massive difference. We were on.
It does, you know. 21 it's a great point. There's a couple of teams I've dealt with now in the last few years where I've been sort of saying, do you know what? The same lads are asking to come off 70 minutes in every week. Not like There's always something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard for you as a manager. If you know that you've got 5 subs, but 3 of them are going to have to replace him, because they're going to ask to come off after 70 minutes.
Yeah.
You've got 11 players you're sending out there that you know can make it to 90 minutes. All of a sudden, the options it opens up for you with your bench is amazing, isn't it?
It is, and that's the thing I think. And the good thing was, obviously, we were on that run of form from that 21 game unbeaten streak. That momentum it had. We played Rogie towards the end of the season, and I want to say they were 15 games unbeaten, and we were 18 games unbeaten. So, and we were top, and Roger I think was third at that point, and they could have caught us. And we went there, and it was route 1. You would have loved it. Dr. Hoofball, you would have loved it. But they literally just went. They had a big lad up front, and they literally won it. And that was it. It was done. Like I can remember my centre half saying to me after the game, he said, "I never headed the football so much." But we won that game because not only we were fitter than them, but we were better footballers than them.
Yeah.
We won that game 2-0, and that was a big. I think that was for us. That was a big sort of shift in momentum. But we'd gone there on their patch and we turned them over. The boys had set up. The 2 goals that we scored, they celebrated like this is this is a massive. And then obviously Newport Corries had a stupid amount of games in hand because they were in the cups. And and I said to the committee when that's the start of the season, we said we're playing the cups off. Cups are not important for us.
100%.
If we want to go back for promotion,
100%.
If we're going for promotion, the cups don't mean nothing.
Totally right.
And we did. We pied. I don't even think we ended the Welsh Cup that year. We pied off the cups.
We did that down here. Yeah. We did that down here when we were going on our first run of promotions at Landrumley. And we didn't enter either of the FAW competitions.
Yeah.
You just
exactly. Yeah.
Don't enter a cup you can't win.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went. And ironically, the night we won the league, it was a Tuesday night. Newport Corries at home. It was basically winner takes all essentially. Yeah. Pill were also there or thereabouts in third, and Pill were playing Rogie, and obviously the boys on the side obviously got the app going, haven't they? So we were concentrating on our game. We had a really good battle with Newport Corries. We won. Well, we went 2-0 up. Zach Osborne was playing then. Zach scored a brilliant goal. Zach scored a second. Geordie scored our first one. 2 really good goals. And to be fair, Corries, they came, they came to play. But ultimately, what did them was obviously when it happened with us, we had those 10 games in that sort of month.
Yeah, it's too much.
They they were dead on their legs. Yeah. They were dead on their feet, and obviously with our boys being really fit. Yeah. It was our lads' fitness took us over the line essentially, and as it happened, sort of 5 minutes before the end, we found out that Rogie and Pill had drawn, which essentially took Pill out of the.
Oh, okay.
So it was a very messy Tuesday night.
It was,
yeah.
So having put all of that in though for the season that you went down, but it proved to be probably the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
You then come back. First time of asking. You've done the year. What makes you finish then? Because you've gone all in.
Yeah.
Throwing all your passion into it, and when you stop. It's quite strange, isn't it, when you just stop?
It is, and I think.
So what makes you do that?
So for me personally, my job was changing. So so my hours in the office essentially were going to be. So my
right. So it took it out of your hands.
So it was out of my hands.
Okay,
but
it's a little easier then.
Yeah, I kind of knew. I kind of knew sort of February time that changes were coming, and that I was going to have to be in the office more, potentially more than what I was. So. Yeah. At that point I knew there's no way I could do the travel to Bridgie and back, then go to training and be out of the house for 14, 15, 16 hours. Yeah. So
it takes out your hands, I suppose.
Yeah. So that was that.
So where did you finish last year in the
end? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I think it was 8th, 9th. Possibly.
Yeah, I mean it was nowhere near any bother, was it? It was
no.
So
we set. I think we set ourselves a target of 35 points because the season we got relegated, we got relegated on 29 points. We got relegated on, which ironically I think would have relegated us once in the previous.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So that was just typical. So we gave the boys a target 35 points, which I think we got to with. and I'll say 3 games to spare.
Yeah.
But luckily we did, because those 3 games we got stitched up. We had to go to Abergavenny for a 6:30 kick-off on a Tuesday.
Nice.
So obviously, which is from Cymru to Abergavenny, at rush hour traffic, obviously Haverdrannus.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare getting there at time for a warm-up, and then obviously they haven't got lights. And then the other one was Brecon Corries away on a Tuesday night.
Oh, that's a long way for you.
So an hour's journey in rush hour, Pontypool, Abergavenny.
Yeah.
Obviously then Brecon at rush hour.
Yeah.
And the worst thing was, I can criticise now because I'm not in the job anymore, but we as a club approached the Welsh League secretary to say, why are we being pulled up here on a Tuesday night when Goitra had a game on that Saturday? Why couldn't we just move that game? It's no bearing on the league. There's no bearing on promotional relegation. No bearing on the title. It was 2 mid-table teams slugging out for 3 points, basically. And the reply back was, it's not within the league interest to move the game from the Tuesday night to the Saturday. But yet, Goitra were allowed to play their game on a Saturday.
That doesn't surprise me, mate.
Any organisation that is saying to teams on a Tuesday, you might be playing a playoff final to get into the Cymru South this Friday. That's all I need to know about that organisation.
They did it to Bagland.
That's all I need to know. Yeah, but it's every year. There might be a playoff, there might not. Well, okay, if there is a playoff, can you tell us what date it will be? No, because we don't know if there will be one yet.
Yeah, but
Surely book the date and then cancel it. But
that was the thing. Obviously, we went to Brecon Corries, and we, to be fair, I loved our games against Brecon. They were always a high-scoring game. Luckily, we won more than we lost. Luckily, but we lost that game away at Brecon, which was the last game of the season, which put a bit of a damp squib on it. To be fair, I didn't want to end the season on sort of 2 defeats, which is what happened ultimately. But the main goal was that we were safe. We got to our points target.
Did it?
And and we were. I'd like to think that we left the club in a far better place, both on and off the pitch, than it was.
It certainly looks that way from the outside, obviously, because it's a club that should be at that level, especially with the investment in the infrastructure over the last 15 years as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of work.
It should be at that level of football, really.
Yeah.
Would you ever go back to it? If not necessarily Crossy, but management, would you ever go back to it if circumstance allowed?
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Would you?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I think obviously that, you can't ever, never say never, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think if circumstances, you have to have good people around you as well. That's the big thing. Like obviously when I spoke to Lewis about Lewis coming in, Lewis was unbelievable as number 2. He was so good, because if I said to Lewis, Lou, can you do this? It was done. I knew I could leave anything with Lewis and it would be done.
Yeah.
And quite often, like Lewis and I would chat probably 5-6 times in the week for a good hour about opponents, about our selection, about our substitutions, what scenarios we'd make those substitutions in. We'd cover all bases. So when it came to a Saturday, we'd left almost like no stone unturned.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and Lewis was obviously disappointed he didn't get the job. He's now gone and taken the Pilks job. He's doing really, really well out there. They've obviously got promoted last season. They went County 1. He's, he started to turn the wheel up there as well now, which goes to show he's very good at what he does. I've got nothing but admiration and respect for Lou.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you're saying. I've been blessed over the years. I had 1 or 2 that I probably wouldn't write a Christmas card to, but more than anything in all the years I did, there's no way you could do it on your own. No way. No. You could be Pep Guardiola, even at that level of football, and if you were just on your Sweeney Todd with somebody with water bottles, not contributing next to you, you're done.
That's it.
You've got nothing.
And that's the thing I think with, like, obviously we pulled James in, and then towards the end of the season we had a lad come up from Newport Saints, Bert, who's ironically now in Newport Corries,
Right.
coaching down there. And Bert was a fantastic coach, really, really good, really good with the lads, really good communication, really good ideas as well. And it's mad because like the way I saw games was quite often different to how Lewis saw things and how Bert saw things.
Yeah.
But we all came to one sort of common agreement on if we do this or if we stop that, does this happen?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Right, okay, right, we'll do that then. Because that's the priority that we need to do now.
Okay.
But the three of us, and obviously James was here as our fitness coach. That we as a group of four worked very, very well together.
Yeah.
So
last question, because I have to say, right, I need to tell you this on camera.
go on.
The Twitter questions are normally like, oh, that's brilliant. You're the most boring guest for Twitter questions, right? Because everyone, the only people that sent any DMs into the account just wanted to tell me what a fucking great guy you are. You know what I mean? I thought we might have one with some dirt or a funny... No, everyone just really wants to say, he's a top bloke. Thanks, I know. I worked with him for 2.5 years. I already know that.
I think, like I said, I never want to fall out with people over football. And I think, I've always, you go to places, I go to places now as a coach, or as a parent, obviously, with my daughter last year. And I was seeing players that I played against, or coaches that I've come up against as a player. I like to go to those places and say, oh my God, how are you doing? Just have a catch up with people. So, and obviously, being a first team manager, for me, like Dan Tanhai, what a bloke Dan is. I know Dan rubs a lot of people up the wrong way on the sideline, but take him away from that pitch, I didn't have any issues with him. I
just used to mark him when we played.
But Dan,
right, I'm standing there. You lot stand to my left. And I just ignored him for 90 minutes.
But to be fair, Dan is he's Camden through and through. He's a brilliant bloke. He's a really, really good coach. I got nothing but respect for him.
He's good with other people as well.
Yeah, and to be fair, Dan, we had a lot of conversations outside of our games. Just about the league in general, just about certain things at the club, and I got a lot of time and respect for Dan. And
do you know the only criticism? He's one of these voice note people.
He does love a voice note.
You send him a WhatsApp.
Yeah. I don't mind.
And there's a 4.5 minute voice note back the other way, and you're like, oh, damn, man, it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm not listening to it. Fuck off.
I got a lot of time. I got a lot of time.
Good guy.
But I think
the question I wanted to ask you: anyone that's ever involved with that Croesyceiliog Cup final win, right? That obviously comes up in this pod a lot. Did Rhys Carr mean that goal in the cup final or not?
Absolutely.
What's your opinion?
Absolutely not.
No,
it was a clearance.
You think it was a clear?
Yeah.
He couldn't have been clearing it. He was in their half.
Yeah. he just tried to clip it, didn't he?
Don't forget. I would argue that he did mean it because he did try it earlier in the season.
See, I'm in the. You have to remember, I was up in the stand.
I'm a dugout and I'm looking at it, and he definitely he tried it about a month earlier. And then absolutely fluffed it. I reckon he sat up and he thought. He's clocked these off his line and he thought, I'm going to fucking have a go.
I'm 50-50 with it. I'm probably 52-48, right, in Brexit land. I'm 52% he meant it, 48% he was trying to diag it to Jody. Right, but I'm probably just over the line with he meant it.
Well,
because remember, do you remember how he used to swagger to take free kicks like he was David Beckham? I just think... With his confidence in how he could strike a ball, I just think he might have been...
Don't forget how big that pitch was.
It
was massive.
Huge.
So which is why I say it was a clearance.
He meant it.
Even if it was in their half.
It was in their half. It's not like he did it from his own half.
No. But,
I still think Pez's goal was better.
Yeah, I agree.
If only we'd had VOs back then.
What's that?
If only we'd had VOs back then.
Yeah. But speaking of Richard Perry...
What a lad.
What a player. What a lad. The one regret with Richard Perry, do you know what I'm going to say?
Go on.
He didn't have a fight with Don Broad in that boxing. No. That's the one regret. One regret. That Don Broad and Richie Perry, the two prettiest, handsome bastards in Croesyceiliog, did not get it on that boxing night.
That would have been the most
biggest
pathetic fight you would ever see in your life.
Just imagine how brilliant that was.
Slamming each other.
It just would have been absolute comedy gold, though, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It was dance around the ring for...
We've been here a long time. We could probably sit here all night. And to be honest, that is really what, like, this podcast, that's where it came from, the idea for the podcast. It was sitting, talking to people after a game, with a pint and driving home and thinking, it's quite interesting that. Some people might have been interested in listening to that. Others would have been going, you boring bastards. But appreciate it. It's the first one of series 2. We'll keep a little poll now of everyone that comes on. Did Kazi mean it? So it's 2 in favour of yes he did, 1 saying no he didn't mean it. All right, and we'll keep going. And
sorry, Kazi.
We might have to get Kazi on himself, and then he'd be 3-1 up.
He's too busy now.
Good man. Appreciate it, though, mate. Pleasure. Top man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Happy days.
Okay.
Job done.
Yeah, you're my best.